Press start.
Episode 93 of the Current Gen Podcast. I'm Tim, here with Kyle. Good evening. Dan.
We're here to talk about Skyrim, right? We're going to talk about Skyrim?
Yeah, totally.
Definitely not talking.
And Derek is here for 2 weeks in a row. Derek, it's great to see you.
2 weeks in a row. I may leave early. We don't know.
Are you drunk right now? Like, what's going on? You're like super giggly. Yeah, so he is then. Yeah, I was going to say, he might be, yeah.
He might be a little
I mean, it's brisk,
tea?
zero sugar. Why? Camera, stop.
Dude,
Derek's
Everything is
having
the
issues
background.
with the old
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody spiked your iced tea? Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what
I
it is.
guess.
Well, we've got a lot to cover. Jeff might join us later. He's got a gig he's doing. He's playing some music for some folks, so he will maybe join us when he gets a chance a little later. But we've got a lot to get through because we just had the Game Awards this week. That's the big thing for us to talk through and find out how we did with our predictions from last week. We'll get to that. But first, I want to jump into what we're currently playing, specifically the major release of the Halo Infinite campaign dropped this past week, and I think all of us have had a chance to play at least a little bit of it. It came out on, Wednesday morning, right? When it went live, Wednesday, depending on your time zone, Wednesday morning. And I also played a little bit of Core, at least a demo. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, this Matrix experience, this Unreal Engine 5 experience. I didn't play it yet, but I want to hear what it's like from those of you who did. But first, let's talk about the most important thing, Halo Infinite campaign. Derek, I want to start with you because you've been so hyped for this. This is one that you've been kind of finally getting super hyped for a game. I know it's been a while since a game really would just caught your attention and you could not wait to play. How's it been the first few days? Has it delivered?
It actually delivered beyond what I expected. And my expectations were, I would say, higher than most people because I was one of the few who wasn't upset by the first showing of the game a year ago. Now I'm kind of glad people cried because I do think they went back and did a better job. Because I watched, I don't, maybe it was Digital Foundry who showed it real fast, but they were like, this is what it was before, this is what it is now. And I was like, oh, those are some significant changes. So I am glad they did take the year to work on it. And like I said, even after that first showing when people were complaining, I was hyped. And mainly because my big draw to this game, obviously I'm fallen even more in love with Halo. I always had a special place in my heart, but it's never been a franchise that I like go crazy for.
Like me in Final Fantasy, for example.
Yeah, it's always been a franchise that I would defend and adored when it first came out. And even though I like 4 and 5 more than the original trilogy, well, I'll take that back in a second. But I originally liked 4 and 5 better than the original trilogy of Halo. I didn't like first-person shooters, and I just didn't think Halo was that great anymore. If that makes sense, it was more nostalgia than it being relevant now to me. So it was never a series or a franchise that I would go crazy for. The reason I got excited for this one is because as soon as they showed this first trailer for this game or first gameplay, I was like, clearly they have taken the second level from the original Halo and said, we're gonna blow it up and we're gonna just let us go in and have fun. Of course, there's gonna have a story. It's still gonna be Halo, but we're gonna let you just play in that play area. And so this is my type of game as far as it's open world, but it's not that open. Like it's not like this huge universe that you'll never get to every part of it. But it's very, very open. It's in an area or a world, or the way the aesthetics of the world look is exactly what I like. I love the forest greens. I love the mountains and just I love honestly everything about it. So it hit my nostalgia while still being new and fresh, not just for Halo, because I know this is new and fresh for a lot of people because they're like, well, Halo's never done this, and that's true, but other games have. But I think they're doing some things in this game that other open world games don't do as well. So maybe they are borrowing from other open world games or open world shooters, but they're doing it better. Like I'll give you one example that comes to mind. When I'm playing Halo Infinite, I feel like I'm playing a first-person shooter that plays like Dying Light, meaning like I am literally what's it called in Dying Light when you're running and jumping and doing parkour. I'm parkouring everywhere. Like I'm just flying around the map, and with the new ability to grapple hook,
that's a game changer.
It completely changes how you play Halo.
It does.
And it just makes it this wild. It almost to a certain extent it feels Doomish as far as how chaotic it can get. And you can die really fast in this game. I'm only playing on normal.
You got to duck away and get that shield back every once in a while. Like I've got
I've died a couple times.
Yeah, I'm playing on normal and I'm getting wrecked. So I can only imagine those who are playing on a higher difficulty, which I'm glad because I feel like it's balanced really good. Like this game is balanced really good, meaning it's got enough challenge that you're not like, oh, I can just go into any situation, do whatever I want, and I don't have to worry. But it's also not so difficult that you're like, you know what, I don't even want to play this game because this is getting frustrating. So I feel like it's balanced really well. And I'm talking on normal. And because of that, because it's semi-difficult, it makes the upgrades to like your shield and your grapple hook and all that beneficial, which then makes you want to do side quests and explore the world and just basically unlock everything you can unlock in this game. So I know it's a long-winded answer, but this is a game I've been extremely excited for because of, like I said, the original showing of it, but also going back and playing the Halo games. I know I don't always respond in the chat, but I saw Jeff saying, you can skip all the other Halos, the story doesn't matter. I disagree. I would have agreed with you when I only played the games co-op. I think this is a franchise that you need to pay attention to the story, not to enjoy the game. You can enjoy it without paying attention to the story. I enjoy a lot of games without paying attention to the story. But if you really want to get invested in it, it has the lore and the depth, and we talked about it last week, of Mass Effect. And you don't hear that spoken enough, but it does. There are a lot of characters, there are a lot of things going on, there's a lot of backstory, and it's not like hidden. Like you don't have to like go read
it's not like Dark Souls or something.
No. It's there for you if you want to invest in it. All you have to do is just play through the game. So I do disagree that the story doesn't matter. I'm not saying this one's going to have a great story. I know a lot of the reviews that came out said game's amazing, story's a little lackluster, or there's not enough of it, or whatever their complaint is. But I'm talking the franchise overall. I've turned into basically a fanboy. Like I bought this game, I've bought 2 statues, I already pre-ordered the Master Chief helmet, and as soon as they make a nice Halo Infinite display, like one that basically my background, that's my favorite pick. As soon as they make a display like that, I'm gonna order that. So this franchise is leveled up for me. It's up there with, in the Xbox world, it's up there with Gears for me. It might even be better than Gears. We'll see how this game plays out, but I absolutely love this game. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Kyle.
Well, Kyle, what do you think so far? You've had a chance to play it a little bit too, and I know that you played the other Halo games, all of them, right?
I played all of them, and I echo what Derek was saying. The story does matter in these games, and it may not be like super, I don't know, like as in your face and robust or like 30 to 40 hours like Mass Effect games. I think that the lore is as rich, as Mass Effect.
Yeah, don't expect the same game, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the lore's a little deeper in Mass Effect, but like there's still a lot of aliens that are recognizable. They all have their own like religions and like rituals and stuff like that, and they're all explained in all these
factions
games.
within each of
Factions
these.
within, yeah. Like it's pretty interesting. So wow. Gosh.
I don't know if you guys in the video, if that shows up on the video, but our buddy Jeff, who's not here with us yet, I think he's going to join us, keeps messaging us and telling us some things to imagine while we're talking. It's great. Continue.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know if I can.
I imagine
that,
that it's super tiny. That's what I'm imagining.
I think that the story matters, and I think that the universe is very well built in this game, or not this game, but this series or whatever. I actually don't really know what's going on in this game. Like some ape guy threw me out of a ship, and a bunch of Marines are already on a Halo that's half destroyed. Like I honestly have no idea what's going on.
Does it take place right after 5, or is there?
No,
like,
I have no idea when it takes. Like maybe
It
like
does.
months. Like is it not months after 5, or is it take place right after?
It is sometime. No, it's sometime after 5. So I watched the. Is it? What was the channel?
Gaming Bolt.
Gaming Bolt.
Yep.
Yeah. And it has like an hour and a half recap of all the games. They're about 10 to 12 minutes each, but that includes Reach, Halo 3
Halo
ODST,
Wars.
and Halo Wars 1
okay.
2, which both have they advance the
finished
overall
story.
lore pretty well. So
And they cover the brutes.
it covers all this stuff and how the factions happen. And there's some characters that, like for example, in Halo 3, actually really Halo 2, and then a little bit in Halo 3, there's a really main character whose title is the Arbiter, and that's how we most of us know him as the Arbiter. And he doesn't really show up a ton after that, although he does a little bit. I think in Halo 5 he shows up a little bit. But anyway, there's characters like that are fascinating. I'm just like, I wonder what happened to this character when they come back. And so people criticize 343 for not doing it like Bungie did it, I guess. But I think they're doing an awesome job. Like
Me too. I think so
I'm
too.
digging. I played a good chunk of 4, never finished it, never played 5, and I really enjoyed those story recaps. Kind of makes me want to play them a little bit, to be honest with you. And I know that people are like, 5 is kind of a mess. I understand that, but I find it to be pretty compelling, kind of new hooks, and also just kind of some story turns. The overall lore is like, oh wow, that's how that came together. So they're filling in some blanks that maybe Bungie wouldn't have, but that's what 343 decided to do, and I really dig it. So yeah, this one basically takes place when Master Chief is in bad shape after an encounter with a major enemy who you've already been fighting in previous Halo games. You've been battling against some of his followers already, like some of his main generals or whatever. And he's just a main baddie, I guess. I think he's also in the first Halo Wars, maybe. I think he was the villain. Anyway,
So, yeah.
all that to say, yeah, you bad things happen, and then you get kind of rescued from space by this guy who's also stuck out there in space, kind of Tony Stark Endgame style, where he's out in space on his own and discovers Master Chief floating out there, and then the two of them kind of have to start teaming up a little bit. So, and then they introduce a new version of AI because crazy stuff happened with Cortana in previous games that I wasn't totally privy to, which was really cool. I find that to be all interesting. So now you've got,
And that's
now you've got. Go ahead.
You know, that's where a lot of the complaints are. So if you watch like IGN's review where Ryan McCaffrey whines about Halo 5, he's always got to make his little digs. That's why I took a cheap shot at Jesse White, because Jesse and Ryan McCaffrey are basically the same person. And that is, they have like, look, I'm not saying Halo 5's campaign story-wise wasn't a letdown as far as the way it told the story with Chief versus Locke and the two groups, like the blue or whatever,
blue and
but
orange, whatever it was.
Yes, the two groups of Spartans.
Yeah.
But so they did fall flat with that. But the part that really irked a lot of players. This is, again, these are the people that are invested in the lore, invested into the story, is the ending of Halo 5. Of course, I'm not going to spoil it, but it does play a role, and you need to know that going into Halo Infinite, because
this is a sequel.
You do know you are meeting a new AI, and she even asks about Cortana and things like that, and Chief doesn't talk a lot. So that information is relevant, but that's where a lot of the story complaints from 5 is because of what the decision that 343 made with Cortana, who's a beloved character, the direction, the arc that they chose for her to go in, pissed a lot of people off. Me personally, I liked it because I get tired of like, oh, these two characters are the same every game.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was wonderful.
And so I like that they did that, because I'm like, cool, now she's interesting again. And now I want to see how it plays out, because even though Chief's this like robot kind of, like his personality is very
He's a little like,
robotic.
he's like Geralt. He's basically
He's
Geralt.
very
in the suit.
stoic, right?
He's
Stoic.
very robotic. He's all about the mission. Even the
great
way
Witcher.
he talks, even the way he talks to the new AI. I'm a pretty blunt person, but I'm like, could you at least say please? You know, like he
It doesn't sound
he
like it's his vocabulary.
Well,
no,
it's
he
also
just
because
has a-
she's like incredibly likable and almost childlike, and she's like very cheerful. She actually brings a lot of personality to the game, which
Oh,
I
she's
really
great.
like.
Yeah,
She's very
she's
the
funny.
same
She's,
voice actor, but she's really good.
Oh,
and now
is
she's
it?
having
Yeah.
she's having a blast with, like, you can tell she's having fun because it's like there's sarcastic stuff. There's like, whether it's like, wow, you really killed all those guys pretty quickly. Like, it's comments like that that are
Yeah.
just kind of bring a little bit of life, because these games aren't typically like lighthearted. They're usually very self-serious. That's fine.
Except in the
but-
one area I want to comment on, and that is the grunts have always been funny, but I really feel like they stepped it up. They were like, we're gonna triple the amount of things that the grunts
Their
say.
dialogue
dudes,
is
right? That's the
so
little dudes?
funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
the
hilarious.
little
It's
dudes.
wonderful.
And even the brutes, like I know the brutes aren't like funny like the grunts, meaning they don't really talk a lot of crap. But like I was fighting him and he was on like a big gun. And he's like, I'm done with this. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I didn't know what he was talking about. And then I realized he was just informing me he was done with this gun and that he's now moved on to something else. He's like, I'm done with this. I'm like, well, thank you for that information. So it's just the
Nice insight.
constant,
You should
like,
reload now because I'm
Yeah.
done with this.
I am done with this.
Yeah.
So it's just the constant chatter, but the grunts crack me up. Like, I'm not kidding. It's not one or two lines. I'm
There's a
literally
lot.
this morning I was playing the game and I was literally laughing every 5 seconds. I'm like, did he really just say that to me?
Yeah.
Is he really saying that? Did he really just say what did I quote today? They spell stupid with one letter and it's
You.
you.
Yeah.
And I just started laughing. I'm like, he
Yeah.
really said that.
Well,
And it's
sometimes
the
they
way to
trash
say-
talk you about how they're going to destroy, and sometimes they are just self-deprecating. Like, we're going to run away. That's what we do best. Like, it's stuff like that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I love. Some of them are like serious trash talkers, like I'm gonna get you, and then you come and smack them, and then they're like, "Oh, please stop!" And the other ones right away, they're like, "I'm not here to fight. I'm out of here."
You just whack them.
Yeah.
This is, to me, so far. Again, I haven't played through the story. I've only done like 3 story missions. I'm literally hitting every mark. Like if something pops up, I'm going to it and exploring it.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite. This is my favorite. This is
You've got
the
some
best.
cool open world stuff because it's very standard where, by standard I mean like think Ubisoft, right? Where you've got, okay, go take over this hub, and then now on the map will now unveil some things in the area. But even then, there's other intel you can uncover to find something or just stumble upon something that wasn't on the map. So it's open world in that sense, where your map will slowly start to fill up with little icons to go and, help some Marines over here, or find this, aesthetic armor piece to wear during multiplayer over there, or find the Spartan cores, which is what you use to upgrade stuff, which is pretty cool. And so, because there haven't really been a ton of upgrades, there's not always upgrades in games like this, but this really gives you a way to, because of the grapple, I think is really cool. They add a whole bunch of tools to your arsenal, which is neat. But they also have all this standard Halo stuff, which I really like. It feels very much like a Halo game. It's a little faster. And you mentioned Doom, but I don't feel the speed and hectic kind of tension of Doom. It's a nice balance of, yes, it gets crazy and the fights get pretty insane. And by the way, they are displaying a lot on the screen, and it looks gorgeous when they do that. Like it's running wonderfully as far as I can tell. But it does not feel like Doom. As much as I love it, it's still one of the best games of 2016. Not Doom Eternal so much, but the first, reboot of Doom I thought was amazing. But that game, like, hands are sweating, it's tense, like, you have to move the whole time. This one you can, but there's other tactics. You don't
So
have
just
to.
more
You
the
can use-
mobility then. Is that what you meant,
got
Derek?
some more grappling you can do, which is nice.
I still kind of disagree. I get what Tim's saying. Doom's a little more enclosed. Like there's like little arenas, whereas this, for the most part, except when you're doing the main story missions, in the open area, you're very open. So it's not as chaotic as far as you're not in like this small area with 20 enemies. But for me, what I meant that it felt like Doom, and I'm not saying it plays exactly like Doom, is I was talking about, yes, some of it's the speed. It's the speed. It's not as fast as Doom. It's definitely not as gory, but it's the chaos. Like I can't sit still. I know Kyle's like, sometimes you got to run away and hide. That literally means you have to run all the way and hide.
Or
Like
just
you have to be in
grapple
open.
up high. You
Well,
know?
grapple
yeah,
with them, yeah.
but you have to escape that area.
Yeah.
Whereas Doom, there is nowhere to escape. You're
You
in
gotta
an
kill more to
arena.
get more health. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and yeah, it also feeds off of the system of kill to heal, so you have to keep moving. Whereas Halo is get away to heal, because if you try to stay in it, they're just gonna keep picking you off.
The shield.
But yeah, for me, it's just the chaos of like constantly. I've died so many times thinking I was okay. Like I'll just get sniped out of nowhere, and there'll be like 3 or 4 snipers. And I'm like,
Yeah, and there's
really?
enough enemy variants and variations of things
Yeah.
staying back and shooting you and things running forward and getting you that like that I can see some echoes of that doominess, yeah, but like
It's just the speed and chaos. Not that they play exactly like it. It's just the way it feels, as far as I never feel safe and I never feel comfortable. I only when I'm fighting like 10 grunts do I feel comfortable. As soon as they drop like any brutes in with the grunts or any snipers, anything that's different, that's when it gets chaotic, and I'm like, dude, I have to be smarter and faster. And I will say this. I know there was some chat about like the upgrades are pointless. All you need is a grapple hook. Yes, the main thing I'm using is a grapple hook. But as soon as you unlock a new tool, they put you in like a boss fight or something that shows you, well, you actually can't really use the grapple hook here. You need to use this tool.
That first
like,
boss fight in the open area
first
does
one.
that. Mm-hmm.
First one where they give you the tool that you can throw it, and it basically sends off beams to show anybody who's invisible, so you know their location. That's the first boss you fight once you unlock that tool. So you could grapple him, but that's kind of stupid since you can't see him. Otherwise, you could just throw. Actually, in this one, you can just throw it because it's in a small little arena type building. You just throw it. It radiates. It shows you where he's at, and then you switch to your grapple. So it's smart to use all the tools, and I've unlocked a few others since then. But yeah, it's just more the chaos. The speed is there. It's not as fast as Doom, but I also think that's because it's not as enclosed. Whenever I'm in an enclosed area and I'm fighting like 20 guys, I do feel like I'm going fast. I do feel like I'm zipping around. And I don't consider this crap spoiler, so if people cry about this, I don't care. One of the tools that you unlock is the ability to evade.
Oh, nice.
So there is an ability to like move a little bit faster. It's more sudden. So that's the stuff I'm talking about. Those are different tools that at the time when you unlock them, it's like, okay, I might use this every once in a while, but they immediately put you in a boss fight where I was like, okay, when they gave me the evade ability, the grapple hook was not going to work against these guys because they were like thick armored. It did not phase them at all.
Well, and the grapple hook is kind of purposefully, it's not like a super fast zippy line. Like you attach and then it's not slow, but like you kind of, I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, but I feel like there's like a purposeful speed to it. You don't like
so too.
It's not, you're not teleporting to that enemy.
It's not
like
snappy,
you're getting shot while you're getting pulled towards
I've died while grappling.
Yeah. So it's not, and so that's why I think moves like evade actually give you, okay, give me something a little speedier to dodge around. It's kind of cool, but I am totally digging this. Dan, are you playing this? Are you planning on it, or what's your plan with Halo?
Well, it's funny that Derek was just mentioning Jeff saying don't worry about the previous games, because I had mentioned to you guys I started playing the first Halo, so I downloaded the Master Chief Collection, which, by the way, 131 gigabytes, not a small file.
It's like 6 games though, isn't it? So it makes sense.
Yeah, so
there's half your hard drive.
Yeah, exactly. And I have Forza still on there, so I was like, I had to delete like a few things. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's my first time actually like playing the story of Halo. So I'm in there, I'm playing the game. Obviously, it looks like an older game, but I mean, it is like remastered, right? I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So
it is. Yeah. It's funny you did that, Dan, because my daughter and son decided they want to co-op the Halo games.
Okay.
And so they're playing. They asked me, can I start with Reach? Because that's at the top of the list. And I said, you could. But I'd rather, I get to tell them what to start with. So I'm having them start with the oldest game, not necessarily the earliest in the timeline, but the oldest game, because I think it's more important that they kind of get, here's the basics of Halo. Let's go through that story. And
And I think that like there's a lot of call forwards in Reach that
There
you want
are.
to play,
Yeah.
the originals first. Be like watching
Yeah.
the prequels first for
It's-
Star Wars.
it's
You're like,
definitely
why are they
very-
making all these jokes about movies I haven't seen yet?
Right.
It's definitely very interesting though, because it's like it almost kind of feels like GoldenEye a little bit. Like you can't look down the sights. It just feels like kind of that era of shooter where like they still hadn't gotten to that point where it's like, oh, look down sights, and like kind of you can zoom in with like the pistol, but like it's really awkward because it's the right stick.
You know,
So,
in
like,
the
you're
new
moving
one,
the
you
right
can
stick,
aim
but-
down sights, but that's not
Okay.
common in a lot of Halo games. Like,
Okay.
at least you sort of do.
Even
Okay.
in Reach, you can't. Yeah, as far
Oh,
as
really?
Because I went back and
Okay.
played that. Yeah, that's a 4 and 5 thing. I'm pretty sure in
Okay.
terms of being able to
Mhm.
look down the sights.
I thought it was just more of it being aged. So
I think that was one thing that some people complained it doesn't feel like Halo. It's because they went a little more Call of Duty Battlefield where you can do that aiming down the. And
I
it's
mean,
well, that was
I think
needed,
that's
I think.
I think that's just something you do
That's
with
called
guns,
growth.
right?
Yeah,
Like that's just
To be fair though, like some guns in Halo have always allowed you to do that. Like the battle rifle, you can always.
they
aim it.
allow you to zoom in. Yeah, some guns, absolutely.
Yeah, you hit the right stick, it zooms in.
yeah. But it's just more looking down the sights. It just reminded me of GoldenEye, because GoldenEye you're just like running around and just you're not looking down anything. You're just kind of shooting. So.
Well, you can zoom in on some of those guns too, like the sniper rifle.
Like sniper rifle, yeah, exactly.
I will say I'm playing it on PC, and I'm assuming on the Series S and X it also looks and plays great.
It's amazing.
The draw distance and the details as you kind of look and just kind of see everything in a distance, it looks amazing. Like it's not. There are some games where you can see things. Okay, this is the limit of where it's going to load, and then as you move in the world, you see it start to fill in.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I get what they're doing, but it kind of does break the immersion a bit. This really truly looks like, and you can see that the halo that you're on start to kind of like disappear up into the sky. I mean,
Dude,
visually amazing.
even on Halo 1, I was like actually kind of surprised. I was like, oh, this actually looks really like the work that they did to remaster it. They did a good job. Like seeing the ring kind of wrap up and around. It just it definitely I can see like when I came into this game, I didn't realize that it was going to be like that. Like once you crash down onto the Halo and then you climb out of the ship, I was like, oh, so that's kind of the inspiration for this one. Like they were kind of almost like going back to basics and using that
that's what
as
Derek was saying, second level of the original.
When you said that, I was thinking that I was like, oh, okay, that's actually really cool, because now it's like it's come full circle, huh? Get it? Halo circle, get it? Do you get it?
It's like a Halo. I get it.
You get it? Circle.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, it's really cool that they use that as inspiration, because now obviously with the technology and what you can do, it's kind of perfect, and clearly you guys are enjoying it, and it just looks beautiful and plays well. So
I think it plays better than any other Halos that I've played personally. It's just I know that's my personal take. I know some folks maybe might disagree, but I think it plays great. The multiplayer is a blast, even though I'm not the best at it. There's all these youngins out there that are way better than me, but I still enjoy it. I think it's fun, and the campaign so far has exceeded expectations. I agree with what Derek was saying. It's better than I was even hoping it would be. So this game, it's a shame that it missed the cutoff for being officially honored at Game Awards. It was cool that the players picked it, though. I liked that. Because this one, I don't see how we won't have it heavy in our discussions for our Game of the Year stuff. It's just so high quality. It's going to be in the conversation for sure. So, all right. Well, we'll talk more about this as we keep playing it. I'm also curious, Dan, if you stick with the entire Halo journey, or if you decide to eventually jump off that train and just watch a recap at some point. But
just like with Gears, I'm gonna follow through for sure.
Go with it. All right.
Yeah. Finish the player.
Yep. I feel like I've heard that somewhere. So I tried out this new space shooter called Chorus. It's got a little bit of that Star Wars Squadrons, also kind of Starlink. A little bit of those vibes to it in terms of, flying around and shooting things in space. A lot of dog fighting. So I played that a little bit. The demo's on Steam, so I do recommend it if you want to give it a try. But it's not amazing. Like it looks good. It's kind of cool, but I started to lose interest a little bit by the second mission. I was like, all right, I'm not going to buy this right now. But if you like space shooting games, it's worth a try.
It sounds like you haven't gotten too far into it, but like, how's the story presence?
The story is interesting. Like right away, you realize that you are a former member of some kind of very dangerous cult. Actually, kind of reminds me a bit of the Faith cult from Guardians, because they all are like these diehard cultists that are not so much the hive mind, but still like they've all bought in, and you no longer buy in, and now you're trying to help these refugees escape. So it's got a little bit of that. You also talk to yourself a lot, so a little bit Control or even
Returnal?
Hellblade, where you're kind of you talk to yourself a lot in Returnal? Yeah, I guess you do.
She talks a little.
So anyway, there's a lot of like self dialogue as you're in your ship because she's dealing with some stuff. So
I heard overall it's enjoyable to play, like overall, but the story is the weaker part. That's what I
Yeah.
heard.
Really, that's a shame.
they
Yeah.
definitely have a pretty clear cut. Here's your weapon types, and then here are some examples of enemies that are weak against certain weapons. So we want you to switch between these based on which enemy you're facing. And then pretty early on, they throw a wave of all the different varieties of enemies, and it's not that hard to get blown up. So you have to be pretty good. You got to quickly learn how to dodge and all that stuff, and that can be frustrating. So anyway.
Duck, dive, dip, dog. I don't even remember.
Dodge and dodge and dodge. Here comes a wrench. Something like that.
Dive, dip, dive, and dodge.
So that's really the only other thing I'm playing besides Halo Infinite. What are you guys playing or experiencing?
Just a little something that we released an episode of today, Tim. Some Skyrim. So
tell people about the episode we released today. What do you mean by that?
It's a story about Dovahkiin and what else, Kyle? What else can we mention? Arrows to the knee. Lots of arrows.
Some vampires show up.
All right. So Dan and Kyle took part in a Chocobo Central episode today. Go check that out on our YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Make sure you go watch.
Yeah, we basically were just having a fun fan conversation, mostly positive, because that's just what Kyle does. He's a positive guy, and I generally am as well, until somebody wants to be snarky with me, and then I'll get snarky back. So yeah, we just found out about Skyrim, because I mean it's 10 years later, and it's still a fun game. I mean, yeah, but it's of course not a perfect game by any means.
Oh yeah, we were talking about all the glitches. He was playing on PS3. I was like, what was that like? I heard that was.
I have heard zero people say that's a perfect game, but everyone who plays it is just like, I don't know, it's just a blast to play. So I've never heard anyone pretend that it doesn't have like, wow, that's a little glitchy. No one ever says that, but everyone does say it's just so fun. Like those things are not
built off that Bethesda engine. I tell you,
most people don't think that's even anywhere close to being enough to ruin their fun, even though it's got its issues. But they keep re-releasing it. People keep buying it. I guess it's something.
Kyle bought it on the Switch just to see how it looked on the Switch.
Boy,
and how does it look?
Great. It looked wonderful. When it came out. Yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's a good time. Yeah. I've been playing a little Max Payne, and if you'll tune into the group, I'm doing a Max Payne a quote a day until I die, because that's how many great quotes are in that game. So I don't want to dwell on it long. If y'all haven't played that game,
can you give us a little taste of one? What's one quote recently from Max Payne?
Off the top of my head? Oh, my favorite is I'm not just slipping, I'm slipped.
What does that mean?
He's not slipping, man. He's slipped.
Dude, he's not slipping.
He's already slipped.
He's slipped. Exactly.
Okay, so he's fully. Okay, I got it.
He's all the way slipped.
He's not in process.
He's not in the process of slipping.
No.
The conclusion.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah. Or I've killed more cops than cholesterol. That's my favorite. That's another good one.
Is this the original Max Payne? Is the first one?
That first one was the original Max Payne. I'm sorry. The first one was 3. The one I just said was from 1.
Okay, got it.
Anyways, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun playing that. You guys, if y'all haven't played 3 ever, or if y'all haven't played it in a while,
I've never played Max Payne 3. Never played.
It's so good, and it's $10 on Xbox, man. Like, man, the slow motion is so amazing in this game, and like the bullet, like when they go into the meat of the characters, it's really graphic and gross, and like. Nice. Do not play it when the kids are awake. I couldn't believe that's how the game looked. It still looks old. Don't get me wrong. It's like a 8-year-old game or whatever. But
yeah,
it's been a really interesting experience to go back to that, because Rockstar doesn't make any other games except Red Dead and GTA now. So like this was like the last time they did something. Maybe this and what was that detective game? Noir.
L.A. Noir.
L.A. Noir.
Which was actually a different studio. So
they just produced it. That's right. You're right about that. But yeah, that like Max Payne was like the last time like Rockstar did something that wasn't their big 2. So like go back and take a look at that game or experience it for your first time. It's amazing.
Nice. All right, and then tell me about this Matrix Awakens thing.
Speaking of the future of Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, speaking of the future of Grand Theft Auto, am I right? Huh?
Oh man.
So I started the download tonight, but I haven't had a chance to experience it yet. I know you don't really play it. I guess it's more of an experience. I don't know, whatever. But what is this thing?
Oh man, Dan, why don't you take it away on this one?
It's like so the very beginning part is actually almost kind of like the arcade games, shooting games, like light gun games.
Okay.
like almost kind of like Time Crisis.
You're
So
aiming
it's very
the reticle on a certain point of the screen, you know.
exactly, and you're just firing, and then you reload, start firing again. So it's very straightforward. It's on rails, so to speak, but it's like it's gorgeous, dude. Like Unreal Engine 5 is like holy crap. Like
Wow, the
the-
destruction physics and
Yeah.
just
PC,
everything about the
PS5, both
lighting.
of you?
Yeah, PS5.
yeah. And I would imagine, I mean, obviously on PC, like something maxed out with that engine is going to be bananas.
Did
Like
they
I
put it out
can't.
on PC? I thought they just put it on the other two. Maybe they did.
I'm just referencing the engine. Like
Oh, I
once
see.
that
Yeah,
once
it
that
finally
kind of starts like being more kind of out there in games using it, like that's going to be insane. So
which was the second part of the experience. Like they
Yes.
they do like a city-wide view and then tell you everything that you're seeing on the screen, like our texture technology or whatever. I don't know all the buzzwords.
yeah, it's got all like the blocks and the cubes and the colors, and it's showing you all like the polygons and everything like under the hood, so to speak.
And
like,
you can toggle and untoggle it to like kind of see like what they're talking about and everything.
This is
like,
an
look
Unreal
at,
Engine 5 tech demo with the Matrix theme. is
Absolutely, yeah. It's
basically
a
what it
Matrix
says.
guided tech demo, and
Got it.
it is like
That's cool.
the whenever we saw the ducks in the bathtub for PS3, like it's that, like that's what we're. That's what
I remember
this
that.
is, you know.
So
Right.
so obviously like Keanu in this, like as Neo, like back in the day, like it just looks like him. Like it
Yeah.
just straight up looks like actually
Some
Keanu Reeves.
uncanny valley still,
Sure,
but this
sure.
is the best anything has ever looked ever in terms of
It's
like
insane.
character models.
It's
Yeah.
insane. So it starts with that on rails thing. It's about what, like 5 to 10 minutes, I would say.
Yeah, if
If that, and then basically, so there's a third character in there. I don't know if she's actually going to be in the movie or not. But she's the one that you're actually playing as and shooting the agents and so on and so forth. And then once that finishes, basically you're just it's her in the middle of the city, and you're just walking around like Grand Theft Auto style, just kind of walking around. You're not like
you can't
punching
do
anybody.
anything.
You can't
Yeah.
do anything, but you can walk around and you can fly. But it's like almost like a drone. So it's not her
Yeah.
flying.
Okay.
I kind of
become
wished
the
it was her
camera.
flying, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same when it
dude,
said fly, I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. And I was
Yeah, it's gonna be
oh,
like
it's-
Neo
maybe it's
jumping
not
You're
that
gonna
cool.
you're gonna look up into the sky and fly off to Rage Against the Machine. That's how it's
Yeah,
gonna
absolutely, that's what I was expecting.
but
But you can
dude-
get in a car and drive around too. The
can you?
destruction
Okay.
mechanics, yeah. If you jump in a car, you can drive around, and
Okay.
if you hit other cars, like the wrinkling and destruction mechanics, while like the physics were a little wonky, but like the looks, I was like, wow, this looks really good. So
See, I wasn't even aware of that, so I definitely am gonna smash my car into somebody else's car.
Yeah,
Um,
it's worth. And who knows if there's like PT levels of Easter eggs in this too? Like if you go to certain build, like I don't know. Like I haven't dove online to see if like anyone's found anything interesting. But I thought it was a cool little showing. I thought the shoot 'em up part, like where the cars were just blowing. Like I was just like, man, if this is what games are gonna look like.
I know, dude. Like,
Yeah,
like seriously, like Grand Theft Auto 6 looking
Yeah.
like this is gonna be insane. It's
Yeah,
just gonna be
it would
completely
be-
Did you fly as high as you could just to kind of look and see how far it goes?
I did, yeah, and like you still saw the people on the ground, and like the draw
Yeah.
distance didn't cut away from what was actually going on the ground. So it's not
completely insane.
it's not doing that like cheating thing where like if you look away, like the thing unloads,
Right,
you know, like
right.
it's like everything is like existing around it, and it was really impressive. For just like a cool little like Matrix theme, like how often do we get to play with tech demos like as
I mean,
consumers?
rarely.
And again, it's the
So-
Matrix, which Matrix is awesome.
It's cool.
I,
you
you know,
know?
one tech that I remember was for the Wii U. Remember they showed like this bird at a park or something flying over water. I
When
don't
it-
remember
yeah.
this.
When it first showed, right? When
Yeah, when they
yeah,
first showed the
I
Wii
remember
U,
that,
and they're
yeah.
trying to show the power of the Wii U, and at that point I was like, well, that looks great. That does look next gen, and of course they didn't end up really delivering truly the next
Oh,
generation.
even-
No, it was a
not even
middle
nice.
gen.
it
Not
went
even
out
like-
with a total whimper. So-
But
Yeah.
I just want to throw in when I was flying around like in the kind of drone mode, just going up to like skyscrapers and like actually looking into like almost like kind of like apartment buildings in the skyscraper, and then seeing like the different rooms and all kind of like the furniture and just the like
oh, I didn't realize there was that much.
yeah,
Ooh, I
like
didn't check that
I mean,
out.
it looks a little blur, almost like kind of like the glass has like a blur to it, because obviously it's not like this wasn't something that they were working on for 5 years. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
no,
not like
no,
a
yeah.
full-fledged game, but just
Oh, no.
imagining a Grand Theft Auto with that much detail, and just kind of, you know, if you're like, you know, using a drone in Grand Theft Auto 6 and like zooming in and like being I don't know, just some dumb mission where you're being a pervert or something.
Yeah.
Some chicks in the shower, you know, just some dumb goofy Grand Theft Auto humor moment. Yeah, it's just all the rooms were different. It was like it's massive skyscraper.
That was part of Unreal, like when they were talking about like the what I was talking about, where they're explaining all like the moving parts to it. It's like it's dynamically creating like geometrical environments and shapes and stuff like that. So like they may not have even coded all those rooms. They just automatically be
the assets,
like auto designing themselves and randomizing themselves in those rooms. And it sounds like it's going to be just awesome. I don't know. And I think
we're probably about a year away from games that actually use it, because I think it releases sometime this quarter, like end of the year, beginning of 2022. I think that's when it's officially released, right?
Either people are going to have to start buying some huge hard drives real fast, or they're going to have to figure out some kind of compression. This tech demo is what, 26 gigabytes?
Yeah, I think it's 30 gigs or something.
It's hefty.
And
so
there's nothing to it. So like, I don't know what they're gonna do to fix it.
It's a chunky slice.
Oh, they'll just have you play it in the cloud. It'll work great. All cloud stuff works.
Everything about the cloud is perfect. So
it never has an issue for me. All right, well, cool. That's an interesting thing, and it is free. So if you've got a Xbox Series or PS5, go check it out there.
Jeff, I feel like
Jeff's trying to join, and it does not sound good.
I don't know what Jeff.
It doesn't sound good. Oh, it's not usable. You guys are jerks.
You're on your phone. Okay.
You sound like you're on a phone.
Yes, I am.
He's doing the Derek thing.
I have opinions, and I need them to be heard while I'm driving.
I do. Yeah. It is so important. The Game Awards and my opinions on them are the most important.
Well,
what about The Matrix? Did you play that, Jeff?
I did. Yes.
What'd you think of it?
I mean, I literally put 10 minutes into it. Like, I mean, I played the demo.
Yeah.
The most action-packed part of it, which was stunning.
It looked great, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it was unbelievable when they were trying to convince you of that there was trickery going on, like where they had Keanu and then they didn't have Keanu. It wasn't real Keanu. It was like video game Keanu. Yeah. It was pretty stunning. And then the shooting, granted, that was like telltale shooting. It wasn't real shooting, but it was still like the amount of stuff that was going on and how beautiful it looked was very stunning. But obviously it was just not even a chunky slice. It was like a sliver.
A sliver.
Yeah.
Now, guys, I keep hearing that it's stunning, but was it brave?
It was brave, absolutely. Very.
Well, I mean, they did have, consider the girl that you were playing as. That was pretty brave.
Are you trying to say of African American descent?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't touch.
I didn't say that at all. You said that. Dan said that. He's racist.
I mean, you were thinking it. I was just putting the words for you because we can't see you. And
Jeff, how did music stuff go tonight?
It was better than I expected because I've been dealing with a sinus infection the last 2 weeks, so I haven't been able to sing for the last 2 weeks.
So you were able to do share covers as usual?
Yeah, I still walked away. I did Sheryl Crow covers. How dare you?
Sheryl Crow.
No, I got you, baby.
Gotta soak up the sun and walked away with $100 tonight. That was a good feeling.
Nice.
Do you believe in life after love? Come on.
Yeah, that one.
Especially. I don't know
how many broads digits did you get? How many broads are you going home with right now?
Broads.
All of them.
They're
broads. All above 40.
That's why he keeps on putting himself on mute because they're all screaming in the back.
Yeah, they're all in the back.
Jeff, what are you doing?
They're in the trunk. Voluntarily, they're in the trunk.
Oh wow! Whoa. Okay.
Hey, so you said that?
Like, I got a podcast, ladies.
They consented. It's fine. They consented.
There's a little lever back there. They have to put him back there now.
Say the safe word, which is banana.
They can get in the back seat if they wanted. They just volunteered. I don't get it either. It's old people stuff.
This does sound like someone calling into a radio show. You know what I mean? Like we're at sports talk and we've got someone called into a show.
Yeah, there's a little bit of vibe to that. Yeah.
Is this current gen or?
Yeah. The thing about Tom Brady is.
Got it, man. He's washed up. I
can mute whenever you want me to mute. I can mute. Okay, I promise. I'll keep it quality for our 2 fans.
Yeah,
2.5. 2.5.
Yeah. My mom listens now, so.
Mom listens.
Hi, Mom.
Oh,
she doesn't. Right. That's not true.
That's not true at all. None of our moms watch.
Liar.
She wouldn't love me anymore if she listened to this, so.
That's not true. That's not true.
She's like, this is how you spend your time.
Yeah, you have such a dirty mouth. What's wrong with you?
Why do you play so much Skyrim?
Yeah, you play too much Skyrim, Kyle.
Go outside and play.
Oh man, speaking of which, did you ever see that post? And I think there's been lots of versions of this where it's some preachy guy. It's usually like some life coach or someone who doesn't like to have fun, and he'll say something like, "For all you guys who just play video games, how about instead of playing Call of Duty, go down to your local whatever and enlist. For those of you who like to play NBA 2K, how about go down to the gym and play some real basketball? For those, like, he has a whole list of like, if you like doing this, why not do it for real? And I'm like, dude, you sound so stupid right now. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah, go join the military and get shot and die.
Yeah, how about do that instead of play your fake video games?
Surrender
kids.
at the very least 4 years of your life into.
Well, I was waiting for him to be like, "Hey, you like playing
just
Star
so you
Wars
can have
games?
a Call of Duty experience, you know?
Go to space, be some aliens for real.
That's
How about
signing up for the wrong reasons.
You like being a Jedi in a video game? Go get a lightsaber. Okay?
Go get a lightsaber and swing it around in the park. People won't look at you weird.
How about that?
You like riding giant chickens in video games? And
you like boxing? Go into the ring and get boxed on by a real boxer. And
it's like, thanks, buddy.
I don't
Appreciate
know.
it.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah. No, that's someone who I don't think enjoys a whole lot of fun things, is my guess. That's just guessing. He does a lot of lecturing, though. He's great at that. That's probably
he sounds like a nice man.
He's probably fun. He's probably really fun to sit down and just have a chat with.
Sure.
All right. Well, let's talk about some headlines before we get into the Game Awards. We got a lot of Game Awards stuff to cover, but there are a few other headlines outside of Jeff Keighley's big annual event that we saw this past week. The first one is that Uncharted Legacy of Thieves.
Actually, hold on a sec. Sorry. Did you already talk about what you're playing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to say Halo Infinite's amazing. So go ahead. Sorry.
There you go. We are
breaking news.
We are now. Well, Derek was here for a little bit too, so now that is 4 out of 4 that have played it are loving it, and the 5th, who is playing the first one, seems to be loving that, or at least liking it.
I'll get there, guys. I'm halfway there.
He just started the first game, halfway there.
Absolutely.
always halfway there.
We're all right here in our hearts. We're always halfway there.
Halfway.
You know?
That's what she said.
So, all right. So, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, which is going to have Uncharted 4 as well as Lost Legacy. So, those are the two main. Those are the two recent Uncharted games. Those are going to be on January 28th. You can play those on your PlayStation 5. I think the upgrade is actually not going to cost you much. If you already own either of those games, you'll be able to upgrade to the PS5 bundle. As far as I can tell, if you own, like, for example, I own Uncharted 4, or I think I own Uncharted 4. Anyway, I'll be able to upgrade for $10 to the PS5 version.
Cool.
So it's not too bad if you own either of those. I think that's totally worth it. And then the PC version, which they have announced, is going to be coming later in 2022. So there you go.
Cool.
Sony's still doing their PC stuff because we got God of War coming in January. That's pretty cool. All right. Oh, and by the way, I think this is in there somewhere, but I just have to call it out because we didn't chat about it at all that I saw, at least, or maybe I just missed it. But Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade hitting PC next week.
So, I love going when I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see like Square like posting these things like, oh, it's going to be available on PC and blah blah blah, and or like a Final Fantasy fan page, kind of sharing that news, and you go in the comments and it's just real fun. It's a fun time. It's a lot of those guys that you just mentioned, basically.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Yeah,
just a bunch of people being like, oh, no Steam, no buy. No Steam, no buy. Why isn't this on Xbox yet? I don't have a PS5.
It'll probably come to Steam. Everything comes to Steam eventually, but Epic Games bought the exclusivity for it. What can you do?
Or
That's a big get too for Epic Games. People will go over there and play, no matter how much they complain. They will.
I
go
also
over there
want it to go to Steam because then I can play it on the go with the Steam Deck sometime later next year.
Love that idea.
So.
Right, that's fine. But I think really where these people are coming from, the issue is they need to remove the stick out of their asshole. And just lighten up and just play the game, because it's now it's available on the thing that you wanted. You wanted at least the PC version, right? So now you have it.
But it's not the way I wanted it though, Dan.
So it's like you have to click click a
it.
different icon on your desktop. Like, I don't understand.
Like, step 1, firmly grasp stick.
Step 2.
I hear you, but that is it's cool that it's confirmed it's actually going to be PC.
I think that's big. Yeah, I am surprised it's not coming to Xbox yet. That's kind of surprising to me.
It's going to probably look gorgeous on PC though.
Yeah,
it will look great. Yeah,
I think it's going to look great. All right, and that is just in case you're curious, that is the integrated edition. That's got the DLC. It's got all the.
It's everything. Yeah, it's everything.
The whole deal.
Can we talk more about butt stuff or?
Yeah, we're actually.
What do you got?
Thank you. I needed that transition. So a PlayStation executive was recently fired.
Oh my god!
Damn, Tim. Damn.
So Sony's confirmed that senior PlayStation executive has been fired after he was accused by an amateur pedophilia sting group. So let's go ahead and name him because he sounds like a dirtbag. So George Cassiopo. Do you think that's how you say it? Cassiopo, maybe?
I don't know.
He was a senior VP.
He's the garbage Joe?
He was George Garbaggio.
Too much. Just too much.
He was a senior VP of PlayStation Network since 2013, and he was allegedly caught trying to arrange sex with a decoy who was posing as a 15-year-old boy. And this is by the amateur group's called People versus Preds, which it's a hilarious name.
It's a great name.
P versus P.
PvP.
PvP.
PvP, yeah. That's on purpose, right? That's obviously on purpose.
It's gotta be.
Yeah. It's gotta be. So this guy is out at PlayStation. I guess there was enough there that there's no maybe it's him. Like it's pretty clearly obvious.
He's also out as a pedophile.
You know how they just got rid of someone who was obviously a problem? That's how you do it, Activision.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know how they just did the thing that you can't do or won't do? Good job, Sony.
I saw so many memes. They're like, oh, gets fired at PlayStation, he gets a promotion at Blizzard, Activision Blizzard. You know, it's like.
Yikes.
You know?
Ugh, that's icky.
And this is definitely this is one of those cases where I don't know anyone who would be like, well, he needs another chance. Like, no, everyone's like, fire him and get him out. Like, no one cares what happens to him. Like,
man,
he's got to go to jail, right?
It's too close. Like, once it starts involving kids and stuff like that, that's a straight to jail.
Anyone that you are taking advantage of and they're in a helpless or defenseless position, boom. I think you got to go at that
straight to jail right away.
Unless you're a politician, then it's fine.
Well, obviously, right. I mean, if you've paid enough, then that's fine.
Yeah.
If you overcook chicken, straight to jail.
Undercooked fish.
If you undercook fish, also jail. You see, overcooked.
Believe it or not, straight to jail right away.
If you miss your dentist appointment, straight to jail.
My wife and I's favorite line from that Parks and Rec episode with Fred Armisen, who's so funny in that one.
Yeah.
But my favorite line is when he's talking sarcastically. He's like, I thought my English was pretty clear. Oil is like food for cars. Like, he's so condescending. Love it.
Yeah, that's a great early episode for sure.
Oh, it's a good one. All right. Speaking of Parks and Rec, these transitions are just going seamlessly for me today.
Yes.
Nick Offerman, who played Ron Swanson, of course, in Parks and Rec, has been cast as Bill in the Last of Us HBO series.
I mean, this is
Has there ever been a more accurate casting ever? I don't know.
This is like RDJ as Tony Stark level of casting to me. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, it's so dead on and spot on. Like, the character they're always describing, like with Ron Swanson, like that's who this guy would become.
Yeah.
Like Ron Swanson would become Dan. Is it? I forget what's the name.
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah.
Bill in like Last of Us. Like that's so perfect. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, dude. I mean, come on. It's gonna be I just can't even. It blows my mind. It's gonna be fantastic. And it was supposed to be somebody else, right? But then there was like scheduling conflict or something like that.
I didn't see that. Maybe.
Okay.
Sure,
I thought I saw something where it was supposed to be a different actor, but then they had to bow out. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's what I.
You might be mistaking that for Black Panther 2. I think that's what you're doing.
Okay, sure.
You're confusing him for Shuri.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
I could see how that.
I can see how those wires would get crossed.
Hold on. So is Nick Offerman not going to be Black Panther? No.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Although I would fully support that.
I think you talk about brave.
It's definitely stunning. It's got that going.
It would be.
It's gonna be.
I would be stunned. I would be sufficiently stunned.
Yeah, I would be totally stunned.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh. Well, Banjo-Kazooie is going to be coming to Nintendo Switch Online, that N64 service, in January. So, I mean, so far Nintendo is adding some classics to that service. A little slow, but that's
one at a time.
It's stuff that they said they would add. So they added Paper Mario this past week, and they're adding Banjo-Kazooie next month. So hopefully that continues for folks who have chosen to purchase it. I have not. Maybe at some point I will, but I'm not that interested in playing what sounds like a pretty poorly emulated version of some of those.
I hear they're really bad emulation, so I just try not to think about it.
Yep.
I played a little bit. I didn't really see anything too bad, but
Not too bad. Are you
Just
playing in
a ti-
handheld or on the TV?
on the TV.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
So I don't know. Further examination.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, just go get an N64 with like an old CRT whatever monitor, like an old television, and that's the
Sure.
best way. That's the kind that like you can still see the lines slowly going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like when they artificially have that option, like just to kind of add the
Right.
CRT lines. Like,
Yeah, please put the lines on my TV. Yeah.
yeah.
But I still remember like as it would warm up, everything's real dark and it slowly gets brighter.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh,
God.
Good old days. Good old days.
Yeah, just it's like a warm cup of hot chocolate. What you're
It really
describing right
is.
now. Yeah.
so
It is.
comforting. All right, well, Forza Horizon 5 Series 2 and 3, which some and a lot of games will call those seasons, but they don't in this. They call it series because within each series are your 4 seasons where it goes from summer to fall to winter to spring. That's like the cycle that they run in
Okay.
these. So it's like a month-long series, usually about a month long, and then each season is about a week. And they just launched their December one or their holiday one. If you drive around a little bit, which I did, I think it was 2 nights ago, I played it for a little while, and they've got holiday decorations all around. You can unlock an elf costume. Like they're doing very kind of holiday themed.
That's cute.
That's fun.
It is. It's very charming. And they continue to unlock or add more cars for you to unlock if you earn enough points in each season. You can unlock 2 per season, and then there's 2 overall for each series. And so they're talking about over 24 total being added because there's some other prizes that you can get outside of just getting points. So usually they add enough stuff that a basic racing gamer like myself, I am not excellent at this game. I will never be able to jump in and win against really good racing gamers. I'll just never be able to do it. But if I can just do the for fun stuff, the party games or like the team-based racing where it's a bunch of humans that go up against drivatars, I can do that. And I can do okay. And they usually give you enough where you can unlock the main cars. You just can't earn all the points unless you're like there's one of them where you have to do a series of races against unbeatable drivatars, and it's so difficult. Like
Well, unbeatable, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
those
unbeatable.
are stupid. Those are dumb. Like, why even bother?
they're so difficult.
Yeah.
I can't do those. But they give you enough other stuff. Whether it's hey, there's a new speed trap challenge where now you have to have a certain car of a certain ranking, like it's in a certain qualification, and you have to hit this speed. And they do that for all the stuff, whether it's a drift zone or a jump or whatever. Or they want you to do a series of races, or it's kind of like a mini Mario Kart circuit where you do 3 races and you have to finish number 1. If you do that, then you get points. You also maybe get a wheel spin or unlock a car or an emote or whatever. So they have tons of stuff that you can continue unlocking. That's why I keep firing this game up at least a few times a week, because they unlock new challenges every day. There's at least one new challenge that rotates up every day. And it's like, go earn 100,000 skill points, and then they just throw you one one series point towards the total. So
I've been doing the same as you. I've been jumping in, doing those challenges that are doable, not the unbeatable bull crap. And it's still so much fun. I mean, I don't know how this won't be my personal game of the year by the end of the year. I don't know.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's very good.
Yeah. I do like jumping in, and I saw that even stuff like, oh no, Dan beat my score on this one. And so either I'll try a couple times and get it or not get it. And either way, but that adds to the fun too, whether it's a friend's high score or you just see that, hey, I think I already beat this one, but now it's turned to this dark orange or red color. And that means that it's part of the seasonal challenge. And they've added something like, hey, now you have to use a muscle car that can't be rated higher than 600. So now you have to go make sure you have a muscle car that's in that class and then try to hit a certain speed with that. So it's just they keep adding layers to it, which is a lot of fun.
I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
I like it. And then some of them force you to play modes that you normally wouldn't. Like I never would have tried eliminator mode till it tells you play eliminator mode and finish 30th or better. And I'm like, well, I could probably finish 30th, which by the way, not too difficult. Have you guys played eliminator mode?
That's the battle royale mode, right?
Yeah, so it just starts.
I like that. I like that mode. Yeah, I think
smaller,
it's
and then like basically everyone starts with a level 1 crap like little Volkswagen Beetle, and so you drive to these purple pillars of smoke, and then it's just at random. You can go and you get a new car. It could be a level 2 something up to level 10. Maybe they go up, maybe higher than that. And it just keeps getting faster and better off-road. And anyway, as you encounter other cars, I think there can be over 50 because I played one where it was 58 of us in one round. You just basically honk your horn when you're in the right vicinity, and now you've challenged them. And it basically becomes one of those off-road challenges where you go through the flags and then there's a random kind of like endpoint you have to get to.
I can't think of the name, but I know what you're talking about.
It's a trailblazer. It's like a
Trailblazer,
trailblazer challenge. So when you honk at them during Eliminator, all of a sudden it sets up a random trailblazer challenge, and then boom, there's an endpoint, and you two start racing there. And if you beat them there, you knock them out. So you've eliminated them.
Wow.
So they keep making the area smaller and smaller till everyone keeps challenging each other. And it's pretty basic, but it's kind of fun. I'm never gonna win something like that, I don't think, in this game. But I was able to. It's pretty easy to finish above 30th. You just win one or two of those, or just avoid people till you're 30th. So whatever, man. I love that game. That game is so fun. But
it is very fun.
And it did thankfully get some love at the Game Awards. Maybe not as much as others some would have wanted, but I thought it got a pretty good amount of recognition. All right, a couple more things real quick before we talk about Game Awards. Ubisoft has announced Quartz. This is their in-game NFT program, and the summary is that everybody hates it. So it got
Wow.
it got so many
surprised.
dislikes. It was less than 4%, I think, when I last checked it. 4% likes. It's like
Nice.
96+% people hit dislike on this video.
I've heard people give the definition on what an NFT is, but I feel like I just still don't quite get it. It's a picture, like it's just art, like. But
it's
then
really
people
any
can
digital
screenshot
item,
it, right?
so it's like a non-fungible token, basically. And so it's basically saying you have a one-of-a-kind thing of this.
But that's
So-
not possible because you could just screenshot it, right? Isn't that the
Not
whole thing?
necessarily, because you've got it's basically like having a certificate to prove that you've got the real one. And so
Sure.
it's adding value within a certain space that you own that thing, and now you can sell it. And their whole goal was to create these items that are NFT items, and these tokens that you could also take outside of those games and actually exchange for money or collect on your own. So they're trying to listen. I think this is happening in the future. It's already happening everywhere now, and I think it's going to be part of games moving forward at some point in some different ways. It's just funny that Ubisoft kind of jumped the gun. I don't think gamers are really ready for this. Microtransactions already throw up huge red flags for most of us.
Yes.
So now you throw in NFTs, it's like, no, stop.
Yeah.
Don't do
There's
this.
something
all the
about
way out,
energy
man.
consumption also. Like there's
Oh
that
no, yeah,
aspect.
it's like
So like there's
it-
that whole thing too. So.
Yeah, there's a whole other layer to it with the energy consumption thing.
Yeah, I
so.
didn't even think about that. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought it was funny that literally everyone hates it. I think the only like there were probably, I'm guessing, executives at Ubisoft.
Yeah, I was gonna say people that work at use.
So, new Assassin's Creed Valhalla update.
There
Should
he
be out
is.
now. There's
There
Jeff.
he is.
Welcome.
In some kind of black hole. I don't
I
know.
was gonna say old background, dude.
Murph, I gotta go in this black hole real quick.
Oh
Sure.
wow. All right,
Audio
Tars.
sounds-
Tell me what love is.
All right,
Wonderful.
all right.
Murph, don't let me leave.
So Assassin's Creed Valhalla should have an update out now where it reduced file size, improves performance, and in some cases it was as much as like 44 gigs, I think, on PS5, or maybe it was on Xbox. No, PS5 was 13. Anyway, you can uninstall and reinstall it, and it's supposed to perform better. Everything's supposed to load a little bit quicker, and then your file size will be way less if you need to save some space, really on any platform. So they've just consolidated. It's basically a data rearranging is what they called it, both for loading as well as for file sizing. But also
go.
there is
we
a
go.
some sort of there's Jeff and Jeff.
My-
Well, wrap your
my-
arm around his head again, just like
Jeff
it looked
Keighley
like you were
sitting by Jeff.
cradling him. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
there you go. Yeah.
Oh, don't
He loves
tickle his
that. He
forehead.
loves it when you tickle his forehead.
There's some sort of AC Valhalla reveal set to be announced. Well, by the time you're listening to this, probably today. So Monday, the 13th. We're supposed to. There's some kind of countdown going on right now that Ubisoft just put up. So we'll see what that is. In less exciting news, Cowboy Bebop got canceled after just one season, after just 1 month, really, right? 'Cause
That's some
the case.
BS, man.
So, and it's funny. I've seen a lot of people posting like, I didn't have time to watch this yet. You dropped so much stuff at once, and I had it on my queue, and I was gonna like, I didn't have time to see it yet to tell you if I.
Honestly,
enjoyed-
That's
there's a
funny.
lot.
So that people who actually want to watch it didn't even get a chance to see it. You
Right.
canceled it so quick. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
funny.
they will get to see it, but it's like, well, why would I now that you've canceled
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
My whole thing has been, how is Netflix gonna renew bull crap like Emily in Paris, which you're supposed to say like Emily in Paris, like you're French and cute.
Dude, I'm
Yeah,
guessing
But
the
they
budget
draw the
for
line
that
at
is,
Cowboy
like,
Bebop. Are
the
you
budget for that's got to
kidding?
be so low though. Like it must cost.
Well, right, budget, but then also, like I said, the angry anime nerds that are just
Probably.
like,
They
you
don't
know.
help. They don't
nah.
help.
It's true.
Yeah. Very
That's-
loud few. Those anime.
Yeah.
nerds.
Well, that's their target audience. Like they're trying to do a live action for the people that like it too.
Yeah. it's
That's
hard.
part-
It's a
part of
hard
it.
line to toe, and I see an equal amount of hate as I do love. So it's hard to like dictate like why like everyone should like this because a lot of people don't, and
Right, and
I really enjoyed it. I don't
yeah,
know.
same here. I mean,
As
granted,
a
I
huge
didn't have the
fan of the anime,
I didn't have the anime background like
Yeah,
Kyle
you did.
did, but like Kyle and I are like of the same mind where it's like we accept that it's its own thing. It's
Right,
not
yes.
trying to be the anime.
Yeah.
It's a different
Interpretation.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we accepted it as that, whereas everybody else is like, "Oh, this is not the anime," and I'm like, "Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
no
no shit.
kidding."
The
Like-
anime exists. Like, just go watch that if that's
Go
what you
watch
want.
It's the
Yeah.
same as all the clowns complaining about 7 Remake, and it's like, well, first of all, you have the original, and second of
Yeah,
all,
there-
this technically isn't just a straight up remake, so you're an idiot. But,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
but,
Yeah,
people
way to
just
be an
complaining
idiot.
about
It's-
the-
Way to be an
it's-
idiot.
idiots.
It sucks, I think Netflix, pulls the trigger on cancellations a little too quickly on things, but
Yeah,
it happens.
looking at glow, eyeballs
Oh,
glow.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sense 8, thanks.
Well,
You know,
Boggle,
Netflix-
Now we're getting another Matrix because you canceled that show, so thank you.
Netflix
Thank
keeps
you.
making new stuff and they keep adding to the stuff. They should just be more like Rockstar and just make one game and just keep adding to that. And just like GTA
Yeah.
Online has the
Netflix
story
Online.
DLC that's coming out. So who needs GTA 6, guys, when we can just
Yeah.
keep adding to the money-making machine that is
think-
GTA Online?
I'm going
I
to say it
think
now.
Kyle
No one
and I-
cares about GTA 6. No one cares. I'm going to say
I
it now.
think Kyle and I, in a separate chat, maybe might have said I wouldn't be shocked if they just did GTA Online 2 and skipped GTA 6
sure.
because they
Yeah.
have been releasing so
they don't
much
need to do it
crap
too. You just
for
keep
online.
upgrading
Well,
online.
that they
To
would
their-
they would rather release a new map for online that's like massive than just do a whole new campaign or whatever.
Yeah, to their credit, they are adding story DLC. So it's not just
Yeah, so I'm not too
no,
upset. But it's just
additional
funny to
multiplayer
me.
stuff.
We're getting to check in
And-
with Franklin with the new DLC next week, or this week, I guess.
So
by the
that's
time
that's
comes
what this
out.
is. This is this online story DLC called The
Yeah.
Contract. It features Franklin Clinton coming back and also stars Dr. Dre, who I can't wait to see him act again. He's just so good.
Yeah,
Um,
Such a
Magnetic,
force, tour de
magnetic.
force.
He's tour de force. That's the word. That's the phrase that comes to mind when I think about Dr.
Tour
Dre.
de force.
But anyway, so
Academy
there's a whole
Award winner.
storyline coming there. That's pretty exciting.
That's
Look
not
at
the
these-
last time you'll hear me say that tonight.
Look at these movie snobs over here just cackling. Look at them. Look at
Because
them.
I've never said that and meant it. Like not once.
And you know what? You still haven't. So.
Nope.
That streak continues. All right, well,
Oh,
let's talk
dude.
about the Game Awards. That was the big thing this week. It's always exciting. Like to Kyle's point, I think you said this multiple times. I'm just glad that it's happening, and I agree with you. Like making the predictions for nominees was fun, and making predictions for winners is a good time. And then we got to watch the show. And listen, my biggest qualm with the Game Awards is just that it's such a long show. Like that was even scrubbing through it. That was well
3
over.
hours. It was a long time, man. Like I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
even
Even
as it
scrubbing
was
through
wrapping
it,
up, and
2
like
hours
I'm here to be hyped about it. And like by the hour 2, I was like, oh, it's not 3 hours with the pre-show. It's 3 real hours, And I was like, I wanted to play some Halo tonight, and that didn't
That
happen.
didn't happen for me
because
either.
it went
yeah.
on all night.
It was just it was so excruciating waiting 3 hours to know that I beat Jeff in our tallies. you
sort
know.
of.
Talking
We'll get
about-
there.
that didn't happen.
Yeah, so we'll
of.
see. I don't know. It
You don't live in
sounded-
reality, sir.
All right, well, let's go
I mean,
through some of the
sure,
announcements.
that's true.
Some of these we'll skip through faster than others because they're either games we already know about or don't care about.
look
And
at
then we'll
Skyrim.
go through some of the award winners as well. They showed a new trailer for Tunic and finally gave it a release date. That's that kind of Legend of Zelda, Death's
Pretty
Door
cool
type of a
game.
game, but where you're the little fox character,
Looks
very
great.
adorable looking.
It's right up my alley, for sure.
Played a little demo for
Right up
this a
Jeff
long
alley.
while back, and the
June.
demo is very charming and cool. So anyway, March 16th for that one.
Can't wait.
I do think that is a PC and Xbox only game. I think
Yeah.
it's an Xbox.
Yeah,
exclusive.
day one, I think.
It is,
Get-
yeah.
Game
get to
Pass.
that.
And then they announced the winner for Games for Impact, which was Life is Strange: True Colors.
Bull crap.
So I do wonder when you think about the panel
Shocking.
voting for this, like, did they play all of those? Probably not.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Life is Strange is like by far the most well known of all the
Yeah.
nominees.
I would agree
Whatever.
with
Yeah.
The
that. And they're
issue was
probably
they
judging based
probably-
on the previous entries.
I was gonna
That's
say
my
they probably
guess.
just can't blink fast enough, right? Just like Jeff is just a blink master.
I'm
So
gonna
just-
guess
That's
there's
what it
more
is.
than
I
one
was like
person.
this the whole game.
There's probably more than one person who was like, "Well, it's got the word colors in it, and it does look very rainbow-like. I bet you." And so
Yeah,
they
yeah,
voted for
yeah.
it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Smoke-tastic, guys.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying. But I am excited to play that. By the way, that is That is a
Yeah.
game
You're
that
gonna
I
like it. There's no reason you wouldn't like it.
It's
so.
already
Oh, yeah, for sure.
downloaded.
Especially if
ready.
Dane's playing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's downloaded and ready. It's just one of those ones that I'm like, I can't start game of the year discussions till I've played this one. I think there's one or two others that I've got to play before we start.
Yeah, that's me with Psychonauts for sure. And
Yeah,
obviously a game that we're going to talk about.
You at least need
by
a
the end
chunky
of it.
slice. At least need a chunky
Yeah.
slice of it. No?
Yeah.
Even if you don't finish it. All right. Then they announced, and I didn't know about this game ahead of time.
Right.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That teaser trailer kind of gave me vibes of what's that one that you play? Dead by Daylight.
Dead by
Or-
So
Daylight.
it's gonna be asymmetrical,
So
multiplayer. It looks
I
like.
think it's a multiplayer horror game. I'm guessing
mean,
it's going to be.
That's
Dead by Daylight.
stupid though, because Leatherface is in Dead by Daylight. So just play Dead by Daylight. I mean,
Yeah.
Depends
like-
on. This says it's a multiplayer horror game. I wonder if it's a little more survival and less action. I don't. Man, I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah,
well,
that's-
we could find out if you schmucks would just play with me. You know, I would just
Yeah.
like to play. I mean, just get together and play. I mean,
It could.
could just do that. Yeah. Don't just stare at me,
That's it.
Kyle. Say something.
Oh, I'm
Jeff-
sorry.
Jeff
We
Lee
play
in the
games together. I
background.
didn't.
You know, if we're gonna play something together, we should play It Takes Two. That's the game I need to play.
Yeah,
this
come on,
four of
guys.
us,
We got to couple up and play It Takes Two. Let's do.
You have to.
It-
We got a
it's-
couple up. Everyone
It's
pair
called
up.
It Takes Two.
Everyone
not
pair.
four.
Everyone get their pairs.
Then they announced Homeworld 3, which of course is a big PC game. At least the first two were pretty well loved, as far as I know. That comes out sometime in 2022. That was an interesting trailer. I wasn't sure what game it was at first, as they were showing different pieces.
Homeworld sounds familiar. What is?
I think it's a strategy
Oh, okay,
Um,
never mind. I'm thinking something else. Then.
strategy sim game, but I could be wrong. Then they announced The Expanse, a Telltale series based on that
Telltale's
Amazon
back, baby.
show. Telltale's back, and they are building another story-based game with, and they showed kind of some clips. Same with another game called Star Trek that's coming out later. It just looks like an adventure. You know, you have some quick time events. You've got some decisions to make, dialogue, all that stuff.
They're already racking up the franchises. Expanse, Star Trek.
Yeah.
What is it? Wolf
Well, they're
Among
not.
Us.
So they're
too?
not doing Star Trek. That's actually
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
like a
That's a
team
CBS.
formerly of Telltale. Yeah.
yes, former
Okay,
Telltale
gotcha.
people that work now actually for CBS Game
All right.
Studios or something like
I was
that.
gonna say they're sitting there rattling off like 5 projects. They haven't even released any yet. They
I
shut
know.
them down 6
Uh,
months.
boy.
The Expanse, I've seen the first season of on Amazon. I think it's
I heard
pretty
it's
good.
good.
I would
I-
like to watch more of it.
I've heard it's like it gets really like it's one
Yeah,
of the
no,
best
I hear
sci-fi
it's one of the
shows,
best
period.
sci-fi shows ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to get there. The first one's like a lot of like lore and world building. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't understand what's going
So,
on.
so when I saw this trailer, I immediately was like, "Oh crap! Now I got another show to watch."
yeah,
and I got excited that it was a partnership with Deck Nine, who did True Colors. So
Oh,
I
okay.
was
I
like,
didn't catch that. Good
"Well,
catch.
holy
Okay.
crap, dude! This is gonna be
Yeah,
a
and
really
I,
good return for them."
and I echo what you're saying. The second I saw that, I
Gotta
go,
go
oh
watch
yeah,
the
I need to go
show.
back and finish
Yeah.
the show.
Yep.
You know.
Because
Gotta
it's
go
got a
watch the show
character
now.
from the show in it. Yeah.
And then they also showed a new trailer for Babylon's Fall. It looks pretty fun. That's that Platinum game that Square
Yeah.
Enix is.
Is this the one where the
created.
demo's reviewing poorly?
So
Okay.
I completely missed the boat on the beta.
Yes, it
Like I
is.
completely forgot. So I did not get to try
They
it
are
out,
taking
but-
that to heart though, and they are changing the combat
Yeah.
like quite
Yeah,
a bit. So the beta was a good idea.
They're
So,
taking
yeah.
it to heart that Dan missed it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
specifically that he missed
Specifically
out.
Dan. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I thought you said. Okay, cool.
Yep.
That
Yep.
comes out on
They
March
gotta know-
3rd.
Yep.
They're looking at each other like, Freitas didn't play this. We got to do something.
So sorry, it didn't have the words final or fantasy in it. So
Sir,
I
gamer tag huge dork.
No, but
69.
there's something about Platinum. It always has like a snap or
420.
something to like
got the
something
420
about Platinum games always has something interesting about like a hook to the combat,
Right.
and
Yes,
that's
yes.
just not present in this game. Is kind of what the big complaint was. So
Yeah.
I think they're gonna go back and add something that kind of like defines
Well,
this.
I'm
as a
just
Platinum
glad they're
game.
releasing on March 3rd. That way they don't get lost in the shuffle of a million other games. That's pretty great. Good timing.
Right.
I don't know.
Yes.
Can they change an entire combat engine by March?
I mean, if anyone can, it's Platinum.
I guess.
Dude, this is the kind of game they should do what Scarlet Nexus did. Make this like a June game, and it's got interesting combat. Like let it stand
Platinum-
alone. Dude,
Platinum
dude,
pushes their games back all the time, so just
if
suspect this one
they
to get pushed
if
back.
they actually release this in March, it might be one of those games that maybe picks up some steam later, but it's going to be hard to make any
Yeah, no.
ground at that time frame.
Yeah.
Anyway, Monster Hunter Rise, this trailer for Sunbreak, which was kind of cool. We got a little more glimpse into it. Does look very kind of vampire werewolf-y a little bit. I don't know if it's got any of that, but it kind of looked a little Transylvania-esque, and the character had a very strong British accent. You know, so there's something Eastern European about the setting or the monster, and they are still calling it massive DLC or massive expansion, I guess
Massive.
specifically.
All I know is this is James's like favorite thing. One of his favorite things to come out of the Game Awards. So that means it's amazing, guys.
Well, we already knew about Sunbreak. So
We're
it
gonna do
wasn't
that
a new
here?
Reveal. I didn't.
Oh, we're
know
gonna
this-
do it more than once.
This is coming out in summer, and we already knew about this though. That I already said it's coming summer 2022. Like we already knew, and this trailer just showed a little bit more of it. So not much new there, but still cool.
Looks cool.
Thirsty suitors.
Y'all thirsty.
So with its success of Boyfriend Dungeon, I guess they figured why not. So Thirsty Suitors. This honestly, like, it has a style to it that at first I thought like maybe Guacamelee a little bit, but I gotta be honest, it overall just looks like cheap, like kind of low production value. Like it doesn't look that great. Some people might love the art style.
It looks like Last Stop to me.
I just don't think it looks
which I
that
just
good,
finished.
but it does definitely have like. I'm sorry if this is offensive for whatever dumb reason. I feel like it's Scott Pilgrim Goes to Mexico. It's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting. It looks like it's.
How, sir,
feel like
how
I-
dare you make a location?
I feel like I
reference?
should be offended, but I don't know why. I don't know.
It's pronounced Mexico.
I don't know if for those of you listening,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to let you know, Mexico is a real place and it has its own unique culture. And this game very much had the Mexican culture at its center. It just had the Scott Pilgrim vibe where now you got to go battle your exes or something. So
Scotty
anyway,
Pilgrim.
Okay, I dig it. I think that
Scott
sounds
Pilgrim
awesome. I think
Goes
that's a
to
great
Mexico.
pitch.
Also,
this was
I would
actually surprisingly.
love a sequel to Scott Pilgrim where it's Scott Pilgrim Goes to Mexico. I would love that.
I'm
Dude,
in.
I
Yeah,
would
I'm all the way
absolutely
in.
love that.
I'll kickstart that.
He's on the run for murdering all these people. Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
And he's
I
like,
was
I
gonna
would
say
go
about this
run away
one,
to the USA, but like, screw that. I'm gonna go all the way to Mexico
because he's in Canada, right?
because he's in Canada.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say about this one. This one was randomly trending on Twitter because of how silly it looked. Like, and people were just like, "Oh, I'm here for this," and I'm like, maybe raise your standards a little bit.
Yeah,
You'll-
it looks pretty bad.
Sure.
And so I know that people like creativity and indie stuff and all that's fine, but I just think it looks pretty bad.
Even
Evil
for
West
me, indie boy, I wasn't into it.
Evil West looks pretty cool. We already saw a trailer for this past year, but it does look pretty cool. It's like the zombies in Western setting. With crazy weapons, a little steampunk, a little bit mixed in with Western stuff. They did show some gameplay. They didn't show that before, so you got to see this really
Yeah, it looked great.
fast-paced third-person gameplay where you're just. I mean, it looks very arcade action style. So hopefully it's fun. Comes out sometime in 2022.
So this was all pre-show. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yes.
No.
Because I had missed like pretty much all of this.
I missed all of these too, but I caught them. Like,
So you missed the biggest announcement, which we're about to cover
Sure.
Yeah.
in the
I
entire
covered-
Game
I-
Awards
I
because you
covered
didn't
all of
watch.
them today.
You mean
Absolutely.
Have a Nice Death?
No, it's coming soon. I'll let you know.
Oh, okay, all right. So Have a Nice Death actually does look like a lot of fun. It reminds me
does.
a lot of Castle Crashers. You know, you play as Death. So you kind of look like a squatty version of Grim Fandango, but it's very Castle Crashers-esque in my mind, but maybe a little faster paced.
Looks
maybe
like
a little combo based, perhaps, but
Limbo, the art style of Limbo a little bit, but more cartoonish.
a little bit.
Like because
Mm, yeah.
it's black and white. And,
Black and white,
yeah.
but then they had these flashes. At first, I thought all black and white, but then they would have like a bright red, like
Yeah.
house or something. Like they would have
Awesome.
they're adding
Yep.
colors in there, which is
It's another Jeff game for sure.
so. Have a nice, and it looks fun and silly, like very lighthearted take on you play as Death. And then they had the award for best audio design, which went to Forza Horizon 5, which I think you got to give Derek credit. I know Derek was here earlier, but had to duck out. But he did say last week in his prediction, like, we have to remember Forza's sound is unbelievable with all the
It
cars,
is. Yeah.
and surfaces, and all that. So
I'm not
Still
mad at
mad-
this win. I just wish I got it right. I don't remember what I picked. So whoops.
we all picked Resident Evil 8, or I'm sorry, Resident Evil Village. For
That
this
one makes the most sense. Some of
Yeah.
these wins are gonna
The
be.
horror-
Yeah.
It's a horror
Village
game.
didn't win anything, I don't think. Neither did
No.
Psychonauts.
Yeah.
Well, no, it won the
Yeah, Village
actress
won-
did.
the performance.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
performance.
Best
Thank you.
performance. Yeah.
Which again, questionable. I don't.
But Psychonauts 2 won 0 awards as well. All right, and then they
I can't believe
showed,
the meme. We'll talk about it. Never mind. I'll just win.
they showed
He's fired up.
Uh,
He's here and he's fired up.
this game called The Planet of Lana. It was kind of cool because it had the composer from Last Guardian introduce it, and then you got to
Yeah.
hear some of his music, and it was really pretty. Like and by the way, the music from
Yeah.
Last Guardian is amazing.
It's amazing.
And so this looks like another emotional connection between a young child and some sort of protective, in this case, robot, not a beast, but he's riding on this kind of six-legged horse robot looking
Yeah.
thing, and he's being chased by all these evil robots, and kind of gave me Tatooine vibes a little bit because it looks like a sci-fi-ish setting that's been around for a long time, which Star Wars, of course, strikes.
Oh, okay, this one.
You can just say it looks like Mexico. I know you want to talk about Mexico, so
It doesn't
All
look
right.
anything
Listen,
like
I
that.
just love
I
Forza
kind of
Horizon
want to talk
5.
about Tatooine now, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's take a deep dive.
They had announced this before, though. I do
Tatooine
recall.
lore time, guys.
Yeah, Planet of Lana, I think had been announced before, but I think this was just a new trailer and then
Yeah.
music
Interesting.
from that composer.
This is the first time I remember seeing it, and I kind of captivated me. Like I was actually very excited
It looks cool.
for this game.
We don't really know what this game is. It was looked like a side-scrolling escape of some sort.
Yeah.
We don't know if that's the gameplay. Like it could have just been who knows. But I'm gonna guess it's a side-scrolling action adventure kind of a thing. We'll see. But guys, here's the real news right here. I cannot wait for this.
This is what I'm telling you. If you watched the pre-show, you would have caught the biggest announcement.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
Wow.
God damn it, Jeff.
I jumped out of my seat when I heard about this. Oh no, wait, that was James.
James, if you're listening, we love you.
Jeff came to
James,
fruition. Jeff came to fruition when he came to fruition when he heard this announcement.
Yeah,
that's what happened. Yeah.
Got it. So this is
a fugue state of hype, you know.
Fugue state. People don't talk about fugue states enough.
No, they don't. Not enough love for.
March 17th. I think this is a PS4 game from a couple years back, right?
It's from like 2014. Yeah. I had to look it up.
2014.
Could be PS3. It could have been PS3 360. I think
it was a PS3 360 game.
So it was like 2013 Japan, 2014 US.
PS4 came out PS3 came out. I'm sorry. Persona 4 came out
before Rocket League existed, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Passive aggressive, cool. I love it.
It's probably a great fighting game. I mean, I heard that
it actually is. It kind of reminds me of like the Arc system. Like
no, guys, stop it. All right,
like Guilty Gear, right?
Yeah, Guilty Gear.
So that was the pre-show, and then they jumped into the main show, which was kicked off by none other than the guy that I think of usually with video games as Sting.
The wrestler?
Not Sting the wrestler.
Yes.
That's who. When he introduced them, I said like, and introducing Sting, I was like the wrestler.
Sting.
As soon as he started singing, I was like, where have I heard this before? And of course, it's from Arcane.
I could not for the life of me. I was like, I know this song from something.
Oh, I couldn't place
Wait,
it
is that the song from the opening?
It's not the Imagine Dragons horribleness.
It came up later. They sang that song later.
I know. I was there. I know.
You were making
unfortunately.
God in heaven.
Kyle was making a sandwich. All right, so
I got my 10th sandwich of the night.
6th sandwich of the night.
Sting sang the song. It was fine. He's just getting really old, and everyone pretends like he sounds the same. He doesn't.
I thought it was.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. And when I said I like Sting, I was more digging the violinist that was like killing it.
Dude, that guy was just going to town. Yeah.
The orchestra that was with them was gorgeous.
Yeah,
and I love
absolutely.
Everything backing him was amazing. Sting he's fine. He's just got the legacy behind him. That's all.
Yeah, they just had to drop everything down like 4 keys for him to hit it anymore. That's fine.
It's fine, guys.
He looked a little bored too. He looked a little bored.
This is the key I sing in now.
I don't even know what a video game is. That's Sting.
Well, then we got a good pep talk from Jeff about not supporting abuse. And you know what? I think there's too many people that were there that were walking in the room supporting abuse, and they walked out no longer supporting abuse because of that.
That reminds me of a Bill Burr joke where it's like the billboard or something where it's like, don't abuse like women or whatever. It's like,
domestic violence abusers are like, I'm not.
I should hold on.
I'm not supposed to hit my wife. Yeah, I'm not supposed to hit my wife. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry. I know that was sarcastic, and I get it. I get why he said it.
He did that because everyone
was Activision, right? Wasn't that the whole thing?
It was 100% that.
Because the very next thing was Bethesda's commercial where they're like, and we're hiring everybody in California.
Dude, that commercial was hilarious.
It was super funny, but also I thought that was like a second dig. It was the second punch in the 1-2 punch of Activision.
I did like that. That commercial was great.
Deliberate.
I loved the vibe. The whole vibe was great. But then they announced right away best indie game, and then they had Giancarlo Esposito come out and announce this. I love that guy. And that was Kena Bridge of Spirits, which none of us picked that one. Most of us thought Death's Door or maybe 12.
For some reason, I thought Derek picked Kena.
No, none of us picked Kena.
All right.
I actually, to remind you, I said that you wrote it down wrong.
There's
no tape to roll back to. Don't roll the tape back.
That's Kyle's reason. My reasoning is it's just rigged, and I made a recount.
In our predictions,
at least 6 recounts.
Kyle actually guessed them all right. I just wrote down what I thought he should pick for each of them.
Don't check the tape on that.
Please don't go back and listen.
There is no record.
Don't go back one whole episode and look.
Does not exist. And then they showed what I thought might have been the absolute craziest trailer. And that was for this personally. That was Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga. We got a new trailer. This was gameplay, and I could not believe it. Not only was it gorgeous and unbelievably good looking, it was disturbing AF, dude. It was so
horrific.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like
it was like Attack on Titan.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
I was gonna say that.
It was very much that. Yes.
Yeah. And he
But
actually ate a couple dudes, right? Like you
did,
saw him
yeah.
like just
And
gnaw on
it was
them.
creepy.
outside
I
and-
did not like
Yeah.
him gnawing on people. It was
Yeah,
not great.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that was terrifying, dude.
Dude, I got
If-
the same gut wrenching feeling as I did in Attack on Titan when they started eating
Same,
people. I was
yeah.
like, what
So-
is this?
I only
It
got like
had
a
to-
half
it had
hour
to have
into
been the
that
thing.
game. Are there giants like that? Like big creatures
no.
like that in the first one? No?
No,
Okay.
you fight the same type of thing like all
Okay.
game,
Well, the
and then
first
you
is
solve a
much
bunch
more
of
of, like-
really dumb environmental puzzles.
Yeah,
lot
no, that's the first type of giant thing, and
Yeah, if there's giants in the second game, that's gonna be terrifying. I don't even
Yeah.
want to.
Also, it looked so good. Like
It
the
really
movement-
did.
Ah,
It
it looked
It
amazing.
was
Yeah,
breathtaking. Yeah.
and the
absolutely.
audio design is still on point, still nailing
Yeah,
the voices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can if you remember the story, like they kind of stopped production and restarted because like Microsoft like threw them a whole bunch of money, so like the
Oh, okay.
scope of the game got way bigger.
Awesome.
And this
Love to hear it.
trailer showed that like tenfold. You
No,
can
I-
tell that this is such a much bigger experience. That
I
we're
hope
about
that
to-
it is,
Right.
and I don't necessarily need it to be like an open world or
Open,
anything like that.
right.
But
Yeah,
No,
I would
no.
love it if they, because I actually thought the combat wasn't horrible in this game. I know
I
somebody
like the
did
combat
it.
in those games.
I thought the
No,
combat
it
was fine,
Yeah.
but take that to the next level. You know, give us more
little
with
more
the
fluid.
combat, and then some of the. I mean, honestly, just spend about three
I
times.
just read ahead on your notes. I'm sorry.
3 times the time on the puzzles, because you're right, the environmental puzzles didn't quite do it for me. either.
I hated it, and like I'm not a puzzle guy, so like I had to play with a buddy to play through that game because like I literally couldn't figure out any of those puzzles.
I could
not good
figure
at them,
the,
and these
the
were too
puzzles
weird
I
for
could
me.
figure out, but they were just dumb to me. I just didn't.
Maybe that's
I
why I,
didn't
couldn't
like
figure them out.
them.
Like
Well,
can't
it was
figure out
it was
like, good
perspective,
ones,
so you had to like create a symbol,
Yeah.
and so you'd have to get to a certain perspective. Like, oh, now if I
Yeah.
look here, there it is.
See, that's
unlocks
not
it.
even a puzzle. That's just figuring out where to stand. Like,
Right.
Basic-
And I
there's
feel
a lot
like
of that.
Superliminal did all of that. Obviously, it's a totally different game because that's the entire game. But that I feel like that tackled the perspective
but
puzzle thing.
There was something
way
really
better.
satisfying and liminal about picking up like a little file folder, for example, and then holding it up a certain way, and now it's the size of a wall, and it leans down against the
Yeah.
building,
And now
get
you
up
can
to
go
it.
up to the next level or something like that.
That was
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I did play that, by the way, on your recommendation. That was very interesting little game.
Yeah, that's how I definitely describe that as interesting. Whereas
another
the
game I would love someone
Hellblade,
to come over and
puzzles
play
were
so I
like-
could watch because
Yeah.
I'm too dumb for that game.
it's definitely
think
worthy of
after
watching for
after
sure.
like 4 or 5 puzzles, I was like, I get it. Like I didn't want
Yeah.
to play much more, but I thought it was cool.
I get that.
Like
Yeah.
I get it.
I got to the
Um,
final level, and then eventually it stumps you, like to the point where you're like, okay, I have to cheat. So there's no fun way to do this anymore.
So this next one came on. Now I had to watch a little bit later because I had
Dude.
family responsibilities. This next one came on, and I wish I'd been in the live chat with you guys while it was happening. Because Kyle, especially, tell me what you thought about this Star Wars
Dude.
review. What was going through your head?
Oh my
'Cause-
god,
and
I didn't know.
Tell the listeners about what this is. What was this?
Oh, wait, this is Star Wars Eclipse. This is the Quantic Dream like game that's
I
coming
completely
out.
forgot about.
We don't really know. Yeah, me too. Like when it was coming up, it didn't even dawn on me that that's what this was. We don't know what kind of game this is. I don't
When
know if
did
it's
you
a
realize
Quantic
it
Dream
was Star
game.
Wars? Was it not till they showed the aliens on the street?
I like the second they stopped doing the like drummer guy, bit, like I was just like, "Ooh, this looks like Star Wars." I think I said it jokingly out loud, and then it just started. I think I saw an alien from like one of the race from there, and I forget which one, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" And then it was
And then
it was-
Quantic
it was-
Dream.
It was a series of oh my gods the entire. Oh my god, and then Yoda showed. Oh god, and just like pre
Coming to fruition.
New Republic. It's pre New Republic ships. This is High Republic era.
Yeah.
I'm reading these books right now. They're fantastic. They're so good.
Kyle, can you dumb that down just a little bit for me? Can you just dumb that down a little bit? For
How
me?
long before the main movies is this?
300 years before the main movies of
Okay.
Episode 1, the High Republic era takes place.
And Yoda's alive.
Yoda is a master, but not a grandmaster, because as
Okay.
we know, once he becomes grandmaster, it all falls apart because he's a really crappy grandmaster.
So after KOTOR,
Um,
but before the prequels.
Way after KOTOR. KOTOR's
I like how you say "as we all know," but I gotta tell you, I didn't even know there was a grand master because that sounds super
Sure.
racist. But keep going.
Yoda loves his white garbs and hood. We all know.
He just had one
Hashtag-
ear on the top.
hashtag
Of it. He
Yoda's
had one
racist.
ear on the
Yep.
top of his head like this.
Exactly. Exactly. They go up.
Jesus.
You know what
No?
two triangles do, guys.
No?
They go up into a cone. Anyways, no. As I'm watching this, I think it's so amazing. You see all
Yeah.
these glimpses, and oh, that's Coruscant. Oh my God, there's a ship. There's so much going on. I started recognizing the hilts because the hilts are really unique in High Republic. They're kind of more like almost like Excalibur, like swords and stuff like that. They're really like unique looking
like
and
medieval.
stuff.
Like
Yeah, very much so. And they're just like really like gaudy looking and stuff like that. Where like the ones that we see like later are like just kind of gunmetal pieces, you know, like they don't. There's not a lot of flair to them.
futuristic.
Yeah. There's a lot of flair to these ones. It's super cool, and I think the High Republic
cinematic
is
trailer though, right?
It is just a cinematic trailer, and again, we don't know what kind of game it is or anything like that. But like,
awesome.
we're gonna get a really cool glimpse. Or everybody else who's not reading the books, which I know I don't read a lot of the books. Like, there's too many books. It's crazy. It would have to be your whole life to like be all in on Star Wars. But I am reading the High Republic books, and everyone who's not reading them, I'm so excited they get a chance to like look into this era, because like at this time Jedi are so powerful. Like the way that they use the Force is ways that Jedi can't and haven't used at all during any of the trilogies we've seen. These are like galaxy shattering powers that these people are using, and it's like it's very nutty and it's very awesome. And
it's almost like the shackles are off. And then
is a time of peace, so like they're the most Jedi they've ever been, because that's all what the light side is about tranquility and like feeding into the light side of the Force. So like they're just
without saying any names that might be spoilery, like, do you have an idea in your own head who that figure was who rose out of that black oily stuff?
No, I don't know. I'm in the middle of the second book, and like they're fighting like these kind of like organic, like plant-based organisms that are like drenched in dark side of the Force, but they're not like fighting. You can't use the Force on them. So I don't think this is what that is. And I know there's not going to be any Sith in this game because there's no Sith during this era. But like something is that's got to be something. I don't know, and I don't know if the third book has maybe introduced this character, but I think this is going to be kind of separate from the books, maybe using some of the characters that are in there.
I mean, it's clearly the Baron from Dune. There's a crossover with Dune happening here.
Absolutely, it's happening because everything is stolen from Star Wars is stolen from Dune. It's a complete circle. Anyways, I'm super hyped for this game. I don't know anything about it outside of the trailer we all just saw, but I think that's all we needed to see. It was very cool
looking. No date or even like year, which is fine. It's just a cinematic introduction, and then no date. Also, by the way, I meant to mention this for Hellblade 2, which is a bummer. I was hoping they would say at least holiday or something, but still no date listed there. And then we had a sizzle reel of some woke streamers, is how I'll describe it.
Hold on, I just wanted to throw out real quick with the Star.
So we'll move on past that.
I wanted to throw out with the Star Wars, like as probably the least fan of the four of us of Star Wars, like that shit blew my mind. Like just the dark vibe of it, just overall, there was just something really just I don't know. There was something special about it. And it was just
the graphics definitely blew my mind too, for sure. Like as somebody who's not familiar with that era, obviously, like
but like the tone of it,
the market streets with the alien and the detail that was there, I was like,
there was just something about the tone of that trailer. I was like, this is what I want. I want this in Star Wars. Do the Mandalorian stuff and all that stuff too, and like this, like it just.
And Jedi.
And I just want the record to show that when Tim said Kyle talk about Star Wars, I ate a whole ass pizza during that.
I mean, quickly, but
yeah,
it's true. I do eat quickly, so
I do think it's just so cool that we've got multiple publishers and developers that now have access to this IP that can do some cool stuff, and I just think it's paying dividends.
And also, they said they would never do anything outside of the books of this era. So they're like, we're not doing games or movies or anything, and now we're getting this game in this era. So it's like, I think there's a lot of positivity pushing like projects forward.
My entire question about this game is this going to be, is Quantic Dream going to do anything different for this, or is it going to be Detroit, but obviously they're a more expanded Detroit gameplay wise?
Someone, I swear.
So we did see we saw, I don't know if it was a rumor or an actual announcement where they talked about how this is actually going to be a full-on action game.
Yeah.
Like, even though historically they haven't done a lot of action in their games, this one's going to be that, or it's going to have action in it. I guess was maybe it's not the genre action, but anyway, not to mince words here. It basically just saying that they're doing combat.
Be QTE oriented action,
could be,
which I'm okay with.
It could be, but
I
remember that either rumor or interview saying something to the effect of we haven't done a game like this before. So
yeah.
So
I'm intrigued. I am super intrigued. This is definitely the most intriguing trailer that.
It was so good looking. If you haven't watched it, I encourage you to go watch it.
Never thought in a million years we were getting a Star Wars trailer. Like,
I'm gonna throw out there, Kyle, a 2018 God of War style combat, but like Star Wars.
Shut up.
Right?
Shut your mouth.
Well, I mean,
you shut your dirty mouth.
Jedi Fallen Order had that a little bit, didn't it? No, that just me.
But I think it was a little faster.
I think so. Yeah,
it was a little faster paced, right? A little more kind of acrobatic, because he's like leaping off of like kind of the side of mountains and stuff.
Kind of moving through linear spaces and doing puzzles and stuff. Though, yeah, there's some vibes there for sure. Yeah.
Nintendo didn't have any big reveals at this Game Awards, but they certainly bought some ad space because they had 3 sizzle reels. The first one was this Indie World sizzle reel where they showed stuff that we've all seen before. There's a few other things that we hadn't seen yet, but that's fine. And it was just a big thank you to indie developers. So they showed that. Then we saw that the Bethesda commercial that you guys have already talked about, which I thought was really funny. They also had a scrolling list of game codes to give away, which I'm guessing were legit. It was so funny. It was like random games that we just wanted to say thank you, and it was scrolling like really fast credits of game codes. And I was like, I'm not, because I was watching late. I was like, I'm not even going to try to pause this and grab one of these. I know
they're all gone.
But they've done that before. When before they announced Wolfenstein New Colossus, they revealed the code for it before they announced the game, and everybody deciphered the code and was like, "Oh, there's a new Wolfenstein coming."
Yeah.
I love when they do stuff like that.
Dude, Pete Hines is funny. Apparently, if you give him the right lines to say, and
one of those videos they make you watch in health class in middle school in the mid '90s, and it's just like, as your body starts to grow, like it just kind of had a weird vibe to it. It was outside looking at a fake squirrel in the tree. I don't know. It was.
I like the end where he's like, and because giving away stuff on live TV is not simple, here's a bunch of legal stuff, and it's like all the legal.
Super fast, like
it's very tongue in cheek. It's very fun. Like I thought that was for a huge company, of course, that's now owned by an even bigger company. That was a nice way to just kind of be a jokey human for a minute. I liked it. I liked it. So
good vibes.
Amazon Games Lost Ark is coming on February 11th. That is a free-to-play game. You can go check that out if you want to. It's not really my thing.
Not interesting.
Go give it a look if you want.
Like Diablo.
Hey,
if it played like Diablo, I'd be in.
It's free, so you can try it on February 11th if you want. And by the way, if you are a Prime subscriber, you do have access to free games every month. It's just people don't usually talk about that as much compared to other ones. Yeah. But they give away sometimes pretty significant games for free. All you have to do is get the Prime Gaming app, and you've got it. So anyway, all right, moving on. A new announcement that I did not expect: the developers of the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games are working on a Wonder Woman game.
Oh. I did not know who that was.
Yeah.
That just got me all new levels.
So it's gonna play just like those games.
Yeah, it's gonna be exactly like that. Yeah,
but with a lasso.
I wonder if
that makes sure it will say the true things.
Will there be Nemesis system?
I want to bone you and stuff like that.
If there's not some sort of like where it's like you're building your own super villain that comes after you or something, like it better be the next level of that. Like that'd be so cool.
Yeah,
because I got to be honest, when that logo came up, I go, "Oh my god, a new Lord of the Rings game!" And then it's like Wonder Woman. I go, "Okay."
Yeah. So I think if they, I actually don't want an open world Shadow of War type of game. I love that game. Not with Wonder Woman though. With that, I'd be much more interested in a Guardians of the Galaxy style. Tell me a story, give me some good characters, get me through the game. But if they do open world, that's fine. I'll give it a look. I do like Monolith. They're a proven studio, and so we'll see what happens with that one.
Hear me out. Games as a service.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, Wonder Woman Games as a service?
Jeff, shut it down. Shut it down.
Jeff works for Crystal Dynamics. Jeff's last name is Dynamics. All right. Best performance was announced. This to me was the biggest surprise award. Yeah. Maybe not the biggest. It's one of the bigger surprises of the night, I should say. It was Maggie Robertson winning. Okay. She was Lady D in Resident Evil Village. She did great. Sure. Like she was fantastic in that role.
Was apparently her first gig? It sounded like
first.
Yeah,
that was
okay.
She was cosplaying as also Lady D in real life, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Because her biddies were hanging out.
Oh yeah, she's tall, man. She's
very tall. Yeah.
And even
I can't believe they gave the award to a meme. It's just crazy to me.
I think it was Kawhi Leonard. It was one of the NBA players came out and made a joke about how she's even taller than him or something like that. But anyway.
She did do a great job. She's just not in the game for long, so it was kind of like it's weird.
Well,
like,
no, I'm not saying she didn't do a great job. It's just everybody was just thirsty for her, and that's why she won. It's just crazy to me.
I'm not going to deny that at all. That's exactly what happened.
But Capcom put her front and center. Like they used her as their marketing for that game, and it worked.
They did.
Because she was like equal parts intriguing, attractive, and creepy. Like it was
whatever
weird
DLC we're getting, it's gonna revolve around her. Like just mark my words on that. Like she's just too popular. Man.
Yeah, they actually don't give you the entire backstory of her. There's some, but you don't. There's a lot left there. If they ever want to dig into that. And then we got what I thought. I kind of guessed right away what it was going to be as the narrative started going on this very creepy, dark trailer, and they showed a guy in the middle of the street. I actually said I was watching it alone, but I said out loud, "Alan Wake 2."
Same here.
turns out I was right. There was something about the voice and the vibe, and he said
Mm.
something about the story is the monster, and I was like, Alan Wake 2. That was a cool reveal. He actually looks, the character it looks like he's modeled after Troy Baker. When I saw him, he looked a lot like Troy
I was thinking
Baker.
a little Jake Gyllenhaal almost.
I thought Jake Gyllenhaal too.
Okay.
That came
Yeah,
to
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
I can see that. But they are saying this is actually going to be an actual survival horror game. So
Which is crazy because I thought the first one was survival horror, but I guess that you were a little more empowered. Like there's not like a thirst for bullets in that
suspense horror?
game.
a little more
Maybe,
adventure,
yeah. Or action horror, you know.
action horror, maybe. Yeah.
So but what that means to me is there's going to be survival elements or something,
Like
you know,
Resident
like
Evil?
limited
Resident
resources.
Evil, Silent Hill,
Evil
something
Within,
like-
maybe.
Evil
Like kind of like the
Within,
second one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's 2023, so that was just a very short teaser trailer, but still a cool reveal that's in the works over at
This game
Remedy.
is going to be, because having played the remastered first one recently, this game is going to be insane because Remedy
Agreed.
has come so far.
Dude,
Yeah.
when you
After
play
Control,
yeah.
Things
Yeah.
are going to be so weird in this game.
Yes.
Like bring your weird hat, guys, because it's
Yeah.
gonna,
If Speaking of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, we talked about that earlier tonight. Like remember that part when Peter Porker, is that his name?
Yeah.
He walks up
Yep.
and he's like, and something about you thought it couldn't get weirder, and his hand's all wet as he goes to like shake
Yeah.
his hand.
I just washed my hands, I promised.
Oh man. All right, wasn't that John Mulaney?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't
So
it? Man.
perfect.
Yeah,
So perfect.
it's awesome. Yeah. What a
All
guy.
right, and then we got Ben Schwartz came out and introduced Sonic 2. I thought that was actually kind of, I mean, yes, it's a little bit hokey, a little bit cheesy, but I thought it
Sure.
was funny.
yeah,
and
it was
then
funny.
when he brought Jim Carrey on and he just told a very nonsensical story from his Scottish grandfather, I actually really thought that was funny. Like I know
Yeah.
some people were probably annoyed by it, but with the fact that
No.
he didn't really have anything to say,
Dude,
it was just well,
Yeah.
my grandfather always said to me, and he starts choking the camera and like freaking
on
out.
this massive screen. Like I was
Yeah.
like just imagining
it's-
being in the crowd and this like I don't even know like how big that screen is, and he's just like his mouth like covering the entire screen,
And
just
he's
yelling at.
Telling some out of context anecdote that doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. Like it's just.
But then he
Just
doesn't
being
wrap it
Jim
up.
Carrey.
You're,
He's just
you're
being
waiting
Jim
for
Carrey.
him to like connect the dots, and he doesn't. It just cuts, and it's like
Yeah,
oh.
that video just.
And John Ralphio is just standing off to the side, confused. Like
Yeah. Good stuff.
But
It was a good guy.
then they showed the Sonic 2 movie trailer, which I think looks like it's going to be just as fun as the first one. If you liked the first one, I thought the first one was pretty decent movie.
dude,
Um,
Knuckles,
It was dumb.
right? Knuckles, dude. But Idris Alba as Knuckles, come on.
So when I watched the
No?
first Sonic with my kids recently, and
Tour the Force, all right.
Tour de Force by
Tour de
nobody.
Idris is doing a tour de force voice for sure.
No one toured the Force on this one. I think that's what it means, right?
Oh, man.
But yeah, we watched the first one, and we all kind of had similar vibes to when we watched the Pikachu Detective Pikachu movie,
Sure.
where it was like, I don't know, with the right expectations going in, I thought it was pretty fun, and so I
Yeah.
had no qualms with it, and I felt the same way after Detective Pikachu. Like I'm not gonna, I don't know. I guess I'm not a big Sonic person, and so watching that movie, I expected it to be garbage, and it was actually decent. That's
Yeah,
what I
thought it was
took away
fun.
with it. So
It's fun.
With Cyclops.
Yeah,
in it for it.
I can admit
Yeah,
it was better than
Cyclops, yes.
garbage, but it was still dumb.
well,
And
sure.
I expect more dumb out of the second one for sure.
I do think it's cool they brought in the original voice of Tails.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then it just
And not Chris Pratt. Thank you for that.
and not Chris Pratt. He'll be in there somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
And then
Mario's gonna show up, right?
He's
we
one of the
did
rings.
hear-
I don't know.
we did
Oh,
hear
it's
the
a cross
first,
universe movie. Wow.
we heard the first sound clip of Idris Elba, as Dan was saying, as Knuckles, which was he's
I was surprised by the voice because I remember
Yeah.
hearing him announced as Knuckles, and I was like, okay, this is
Yeah.
so dumb. It's
it'll
dumber
work.
than the
I
first
mean,
one.
It
it's
works.
still
It
pretty
works.
And
dumb.
then his voice worked. I was
No,
like,
it
okay,
works.
all right.
It works.
he's actually really skilled at the voice acting. He did
He
Shere
is,
Khan
yeah.
in one of the Jungle Book.
Okay. Oh
like
yeah,
He was
yeah, yeah.
great in that.
Oh,
yeah.
the Jon Favreau one, yeah, that was
yeah,
great.
Yeah, he was great in that.
And then they showed a new gameplay trailer for Horizon Forbidden West. Nothing really new here. We did see some new robot stuff, and there's some new details. But I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like, this game comes out in 3 months. I don't want to see anymore. So I'll be honest, I
Yeah.
didn't pay super close attention to this one, not because I don't care or I don't think it
Right.
looks great.
I mean,
of
I'll
course,
say this: it was super beautiful.
it,
Yeah.
It was.
Wow.
it looked great. It looked
Yeah.
great. But what was
Holy
really
cow.
cool was as soon as that trailer ended, you kind of realized as they lifted the screen that there was the
Yeah.
orchestra playing and a live vocalist was there, and it was the the Horizon score, which is gorgeous. And I thought that was an amazing performance. I did leave that one on. I didn't scrub through that one because I thought it was
Yeah.
really pretty. And then we got a trailer for Final Fantasy VII. We talked about this already, coming to PC, to the Epic
Who
Games Store.
cares?
It'll be out this week. I think it's on Thursday. Should be out on Thursday.
Huh?
And here was Nintendo's second ad buy for reviewing 2021 on the Switch. I guess they bought some ad space here. I don't know. But basically just saying, thanks for this awesome year. And here's all the awesome stuff we made. So there you go.
Just not much of anything.
I mean, Metroid was their big one, in my opinion. All right. Best action game was announced, and that was Returnal. We all got that. So 100% across the board. Good job,
Yes.
everybody. Even though I had a feeling that Deathloop might win it, but I'm glad I picked Returnal. Because I was like, they're going to throw Returnal some kind of bone here, right? And they did.
This was the only category I felt like they would have given Returnal
it was a good pick.
some type of love.
And then we got a new trailer for The Witch Queen, a weird combination of live action, which you don't see a lot these days in video game trailers, but some live action mixed with gameplay, mixed with some cinematic stuff.
I cannot believe how long this trailer was for a game that is like 15 years old. It's not 15 years old, but you know what I'm saying.
Since the first release, right? Since the first release.
I think Destiny 2 is 2018.
Well, I meant Destiny 1, sorry, as far as first release.
Is Destiny 2 only 2018? I feel
I
like
don't
I've
know.
been playing that game forever.
If only one of us had a device where we could find that out instantly.
I know, yeah.
No, I'm not using my phone for that. I'm using that
I'd
for
rather use my memory because it's flawless.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
At this point in the show, things got super weird, super fast. So the Silent Hill creator Toyoma,
God.
he has this Bokeh game studio that he's created, and they have this new game coming out called, first of all, the title Slitterhead.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It
like
sounds
even,
gross,
because
right?
that's what their heads
even
do.
saying it makes me go like, ew, Slitterhead. Ugh.
Yeah.
That game looks so messed up. It doesn't even look like I didn't watch it and go, wow, these graphics are amazing. So it didn't blow me. Like I didn't think the visuals were that stunning, but boy, was the design creepy. So creepy.
But hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, I
it was
think it's
somehow
going for
hilarious and creepy.
I didn't
Weird
think any of it
comic-
was hilarious.
yeah.
I thought it was stupid. And
Oh, I thought it was
creepy.
hilarious.
But
That was hilarious.
listen, if you're into horror stuff and you like, hey, what's the new thing they can make someone's face do before it becomes a monster this time? Like this is a game for you.
Yeah.
I will say the music was trash, and Dan probably loved it.
Oh, Jeffrey. You're just so cynical that I beat you. You're just mad.
It has nothing to do with cynicism. It's more to do with your ears being busted.
You're just upset. It's okay.
Well, this next game,
give you a hug. I'll give you a hug.
This next game I think looks actually pretty awesome. It's called Nightingale, and
Yeah.
because I'm such a big fan
Yeah.
of Valheim, this kind of takes pieces of what I love of stuff like Valheim and other games, and looks like it's a new setting for what I currently really enjoy. So it's got this creepy adventure game vibe to it, but it's a multiplayer game. They call it a survival crafting game. So there you go, like Valheim. But it kind of had this steampunk, part Western, little medieval fantasy. I thought I saw the Eiffel Tower at one point. So I'm not sure what the setting is for this game. I could be, by the way, I could be confusing that with a different trailer. I can't remember. But anyway, it definitely has a lot of base building, a lot of different settings, and a lot of different outfits. Like the lady kind of looked like a Final Fantasy Red Mage at the opening there.
Yeah,
and then
but
there are
like
other
kind of
characters.
like Western, like kind of like old timey Western a little bit. Like
She looked like reminded me of a character from Final Fantasy 9 or something. Maybe I don't know.
yeah.
A little bit steampunk. I don't know. This game looks cool. It's coming out next year. I'm excited for Nightingale.
Yeah, this was a good show.
It was
I like
ex
that,
BioWare devs, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think it was the creator of the first Dragon Age game.
Dragon
Yeah.
Age.
So like
Because
that
he
was
said
pretty
It was the
exciting.
lead director of that game.
Yeah.
I think he was actually there for Inquisition as well, because he said last time you were on stage, you were
Right,
accepting
right,
the award.
right.
For
I think you're
Inquisition.
right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that was
So
him.
that's exciting for sure.
good pedigree, at least in the development team there. So we'll see. We'll see if Nightingale actually becomes a thing or not. We'll find out this year, or this coming year. Gollum: The Untold Story got a trailer. At least for me, it was a new trailer. I think it was new. I think Gollum's design looks kind of interesting, a little bit younger. Maybe that's the whole point.
They've showed gameplay of this, and it's basically a stealth game, and that's pretty exciting to me. In
Yeah,
Middle
stealth
Earth. Yeah.
using a lot of environmental stuff.
Yeah.
To take them out or to run and hide, depending on which personality you decide to follow.
Like I remember one specific visual of him, like where the orcs are whatever building something. I don't know. They're like in a refinery or something, and he's like sneaking around on the rocks and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a cool game.
Yeah.
Like there's potential here.
That one does look cool. Still no date for Gollum though.
No.
I still think they're targeting 2022, but they didn't say on this trailer at least. Somerville, kind of a cell shaded post-apocalyptic looking game, looks pretty cool.
Yeah, this looks
Dude.
cool. Yeah.
They
Lots
showed
of
this.
running.
They showed this before. It was kind of like, I don't know if you remember a
family,
snippet.
right?
Yeah, family sitting on the couch, and it's kind of like
Yeah.
super creepy vibes.
Yeah,
The
I remember
title
like a
sounded
mom,
familiar.
dad, kid, and a dog or something trying to
Yeah,
escape.
yeah.
Yep.
Looks awesome.
So Somerville does look cool. Cuphead got this live performance, very odd but very
One of the
fitting.
most important announcements of the show.
They're getting
Yeah.
new
Pay some
DLC
respects.
coming out at the end of June. It's I forget what it's called. It's a kind of a funny title for the thing, but anyway.
It's like last of the
last main course or last something course. I forget. What
main course.
Yeah.
I did think that the kind of the weird, creepy claymation stuff that they were using for the ad for it was
That was fun.
It was all very clever.
That
and
one, I like that
well
part a
done.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looked really good.
I've always
but
admired the aesthetic of this entire
so
game.
did I. I just didn't like playing it. That was the problem.
I was just bad at it. I mean, I could have.
It's hard.
I don't know. Yeah, I know.
it's
Like people
hard.
are, well, it's supposed to be old school like that. I'm like, well, I don't have time for that anymore.
I just didn't think it was fun. Like it makes you appreciate the games that balance difficulty with a sense of accomplishment and fun.
I think
but
so.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's fair.
What do I know?
I just was so
Nothing.
blown away, even though I was like dying all the time. I was so blown away by the freaking graphics and whatever.
The animation
style that was
it's
just
out
like,
of this world.
I cannot believe I'm playing this as a game, and it's
Same,
like straight
yeah.
up a cartoon.
Well, speaking of shocking visuals, I was pretty impressed by the Sonic Frontiers showing, which is hitting in holiday of 2022.
Of course, one of the most important. I can't even make fun of this one as being one of the most important ones.
Listen, I don't
because it's actually kind of legitimately cool.
I don't think
what do we know about that game?
I don't think that exploring as Sonic in an open 3D world sounds fun. We've tried it in previous games, and I don't think it's all that fun.
Oh,
that
it's just
being
so
said,
there have been previous entries like that? I didn't know that.
Not as
like,
wide
kind
as this.
Not
as wide
totally
as this.
open, but where you get a 3D space to kind of go whatever direction.
Yeah, all
and I
the
never
adventure
thought
games, Sonic Adventure.
I never thought the movement of Sonic was really lent itself to being fun in that type of environment. But this is clearly like, hey, we like Breath of the Wild. Let's do a little bit of that with Sonic. And by the way, it looks great. Like it's clearly using a really strong engine. The visuals are sharp. It's like, ooh, I wish they would do Breath of the Wild like that. I wish it would look like this, like the environment, the grass, all that stuff. But anyway, this is coming out in the holiday season of this next year. I did think it looked really good. I just
cautiously optimistic.
Playing as Sonic, I've just never felt that amazing. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one. Then of course we got a little Kojima. It wasn't quite as smoochy as some of you predicted, but he was not there in person.
Next year. Next year.
What was in that pizza?
He said next year. He did say next year.
He did say next year.
He is going to be in person next year, so we'll get the smooching time next year, I guess.
And then he introduced stuff next year, guys.
He introduced a trailer for that new Guillermo del Toro movie, which does have Willem Dafoe in it, which we can confirm has Willem Dafoe.
He was like, "Godspeed, Bradley Cooper." In the trailer.
Hold on, can I?
The cast is amazing for this movie.
Oh yeah,
that
top to bottom is just a stellar.
Can I just go ahead and just say F you to Del Toro by just like dropping the words Silent and Hill and like nothing coming of it? Like what the hell, dude?
About it afterwards though.
Like god damn it. Like what's your problem?
I did like how he said that wow, that trailer was the best thing I saw since the Death Stranding trailer. I was like, they love each other. These guys love each other.
Yeah. But when he said Silent Hill, I was like, it's coming. It's coming. Yeah. They're gonna drop the trailer. Nothing.
So this is when Keeley, I think, and they must have done a lot of work on timing things out, knowing we got to stick to 3 hours. We could easily go to like 5 if we stretch this out too much. So then he was like, let's just rattle off a bunch of the winners since that's what this show is supposed to be about. So he rattled off some winners here. We had Best Art Direction went to Deathloop. The player's voice or player's choice in this case went to Halo Infinite, which wasn't.
I voted for the player's choice, and
so did I.
I know Forza made the top 5, which is actually very impressive.
That was cool.
Very happy with that.
Yeah, I like that.
Guardians almost did, but didn't last round.
Best RPG went to Tales of Arise, which was a pleasant surprise to see that one win. I think we all picked it, but I was glad.
Did you see that, Jeff?
Nobody cares, Dan. Nobody gives a crap.
Did you see Tales? Yeah. Did you?
Best score in music went to Nier Replicant.
I don't know what.
What was that,
Nothing
Jeff?
happened.
Can I just say that the music in that game is fantastic?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not doubting that. It's just. Didn't we hear it before?
I was super. I couldn't believe
it was
completely
redone, and I think they actually wrote some new elements to it as well for this. But I could be wrong.
No, but I still think it's insane that it beat Cyberpunk though in terms of music. Like that's insane to me. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nier
Still
won
cool.
that.
Different styles, right? You know?
Best
Very
multiplayer
much,
game went to It Takes Two, as well as we'll talk about later. Best family game. It Takes Two got a bunch of awards, and then best.
Did any of us get It Takes Two for multiplayer? I thought.
I did.
Okay, you did. Did we split? Did everybody do a different one for this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
We'll look at
sounds
it
right.
at the end. We'll look at those at the end. Best mobile game was Genshin Impact. Best narrative went to Guardians of the Galaxy, which I thought was not my
Shocking.
prediction, but it was a good
Shocking.
pick. I liked that
Shocking.
pick.
Yeah,
I
it was
like
very surprising.
I
I love that story though.
It
so.
made me believe in award shows for a second.
Yes,
I was like,
yeah.
whoa,
Hold on. I was
everyone
like,
voted
ooh.
with their heart.
Just for a second.
But then you look at the category before that, and I've never been more pissed about something mobile related in my entire life. Like
What?
Genshin Impact, like
What else should win? And who cares?
Fantasian, dude.
What is that?
That's
It actually came out in
Sakaguchi,
2021.
the freaking father of Final Fantasy. It's-
Japanese.
Oh,
blah, blah,
I didn't
blah.
realize he made a.
yeah,
Okay.
it's the one where he made all like the actual like kind of actual physical.
on Apple
Omoarigato
Arcade.
gozaimasu.
It's on
Yes.
Apple Arcade. It is a
Japanese
cool
stuff.
game. But I
Oh,
do
no
want to
wonder
back you up
people
on
can't
this
play
one,
it
Dan,
'cause
to
it's on
say
Apple Arcade.
I
got
think
you.
it deserved it because it not only was a really good game, but it actually came out this year. I do get annoyed when they just kind of
Yes.
randomly
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
award a game from a previous year as if it hasn't been out for like.
Yes, exactly. That's
Like-
what the ongoing game category is for, right?
Exactly. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But the next trailer was up there with. I mean, this was such a cool show. So many new trailers, or at least, if it wasn't a new reveal, then it was a new trailer of a game we knew about, like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. This is Rocksteady's new game. We got a full-on gameplay trailer after a little skit, which I thought was kind of funny, with Director Waller coming out and scolding Keeley, like, "Listen,
That was
Like-
Deborah Wilson from Mad TV. Yeah.
she is great.
Also
She's
from
fantastic."
Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
Fallen
Star Wars
Order?
Fallen. Yeah, Fallen
Yeah.
Order. Yeah.
What I liked
Oh,
about
yeah.
that was that she went for it. Like, she didn't kind of like give us a little chuckle and a little wink. She went for it and was
Yeah,
serious, and
full committed. Yeah.
that kind of makes that kind of stuff fun. There's another
She
one.
seems like she's Amanda Waller in the game too. Did I
I think
Yeah.
so.
I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was the whole.
I think we also saw her in a trailer for a different game a little bit after this.
She's
did,
been. She
yeah.
found a second career in gaming stuff. It's
for
kind
her,
of
man.
awesome. I love
Yeah,
that.
I'm super into that.
Forget what game it was. There was a game later where I'm pretty sure we saw her have a quick line
did.
in an upcoming game. Forspoken, maybe she was in that one. I think. Anyway,
That's right.
Oh,
Oh, is she?
There's quite a bit of famous people in that game.
I think it was Forspoken. But anyway,
You're
this game I think obviously is going to have a ton of personality. I thought they did a good job in the trailer of showing us a lot of that. I thought it looked fun and crazy. My thought was, a little bit of Sunset Overdrive, maybe even, heaven forbid, a little Crackdown, the good stuff. Okay, about jumping around buildings and
Yeah,
blowing
sure.
stuff up. I got a little bit of that, and a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy, all the banter while you're jumping around
Yeah,
and killing
yeah,
enemies together. What did you guys think about this? And it is, by the way, it did say 2022, which is nice to see
Cool.
that they're planning for it for this year.
So
What did you
fun.
guys think about the Suicide Squad?
I think you nailed it. All the things that you said, that's exactly how I feel. I think you nailed it.
If it comes together cohesively, then yeah.
I just
It
don't know how you are you changing characters on the fly, or
think
are
you
you
control
doing it
each
stage by
character.
stage? So yeah, but how are you switching to them? You know,
point.
I think they did say you play as everybody, but like when does that happen? Are there certain moments or missions that you're playing as
Yeah.
certain characters? I really don't care. Any
I'm
version
gonna
of that
guess
sounds
you
good to
pick who
me.
you want to be in each battle, is my guess.
That'd be
and
pretty
it's-
cool. Yeah. I don't know. It looked really fun to me, and I
Yeah.
think they've been holding off on gameplay for a while on this one, and I was getting kind of nervous. And after seeing it, I'm like, yeah, man, I don't, it's
I love how-
Rocksteady. I don't know
how
why I was ever
much
nervous.
it-
It's Rocksteady, you know.
Yeah.
I love how much it differs from what Rocksteady's done before with Batman properties. Like it's
Yeah.
it's not Gotham Knights, Kung Fu, whatever fighting system Batman.
No.
It's something
And
totally different and
it's
more zany
crazy.
and
and it's visually
arcadey.
different. It being like in
Yeah.
the daylight and just lots of like colorful, looks
As a
cool.
non-comic book guy, like I don't read all the comics, I don't know all the background stories. Like seeing someone like Flash look so creepy and kind of be pretty evil, like that's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
exciting. Like, dude, that's a cool take
That's-
on this.
It's
Normally,
almost like Injustice.
this is
storyline,
like
right?
this is like when Darkseid wins, right? Or Darkseid,
I
whatever.
think Brainiac is here and he's taken over.
Brainiac,
everybody.
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
I
Brainiac
think
takes
that's what's
over like
happening,
the
yeah.
Justice League. Yeah.
But like that kind of darkish storyline that Injustice follows, right? Because Superman's
Yeah.
basically a villain in that story.
Yeah,
so.
that's.
but I
pretty much
did
the
like
story,
like they clearly are gonna have some funny lines and like quality writing. Like
Yeah,
they gave it away in the trailer,
Flash
but when it
line
says,
about you might as well
the
just
bullet-
mail it to me.
mail it
was
to
so
me.
funny.
that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, the
So-
writing's gonna be it's gonna be really funny for this game. Yeah.
It looked like a lot of fun. I'm excited for that, especially after the Suicide Squad movie this year. It's cool that
Oh,
we're
man.
making it next year, and this looks like it's more in line with that. than-
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, that
does,
movie's
yeah,
got
yeah.
some balls, dude. I love that movie.
So I am excited for that. Then we did, speaking of Forspoken, we got a new trailer with some story and gameplay. We got to see even the main actress, actually the two main actresses, protagonist and antagonist, both came out to kind of introduce it together.
Both look familiar to me. They've been in stuff before. I know that much.
They did have familiar faces, especially the older lady. I feel like I've seen her in plenty of stuff.
Yeah, I think I've seen. Yeah, I couldn't think of what it was, but
she's one of those British actresses, and I'm like, I've heard your voice, maybe seen your face somewhere, maybe not sure.
The particle effects of like the magic that you're casting in this just looks bonkers. I think it's Luminous Engine, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the same as Final Fantasy 15's engine. I could be wrong, but
Square, right?
Yeah,
Square. Yeah. And it's PS5 console exclusive, but also coming to PC. I was already sold on this game when they did a bigger reveal earlier this year. I forget when that was, but when they announced the title, Forspoken, and all that kind of stuff.
I remember that.
So I'm already sold on this game. It looks like a blast. I'm all in, and we now have a release date of May 24th, which I am pumped for. That's a great time for this game.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Not February.
Not February, March.
Please get that out of there.
So I think end of May. That's fantastic. That's right before summer gets going, E3 time. Like
it is literally the only game that month so far.
I think it's one of them.
Please.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Good. Let's keep it that way.
We got a new trailer for Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, which I'm not necessarily a mega fan of, but I think there are a lot of fans of it. So that was
it looks the uber violent one that was really cool and cinematic.
It came out like 2011. It was a third-person shooter. It was really awesome, but it was a really basic third-person like cover-based, quick shooter, linear.
It was pretty much a rip-off of Gears. And we
I would say so. Yeah. That's pretty close. That's pretty good.
But I do like the Warhammer 40K universe. Like their Dawn of War RTS games are still some of my favorites. I love those games. If you like real-time strategy.
Keep an eye on this one if you just want a simple shooter, coming down the line.
Yeah. We got a new trailer for Saints Row, and the release date still sitting at August 23rd. So that's good.
Wilkes Row.
I mean, if people are upset about it, this trailer probably didn't do anything to change that, but it still looks fun. Like it still looks silly and crazy.
It looks like Saints Row that I've known for many games.
But it's woke now, Jeff.
I've played them all, and this is
I don't get the
woke
like. Sense at all. It looks so freaking dumb.
I think it's the hipster characters.
The art style even looks the same. Like
during a lot of the commercial breaks and ads of this show, I got the woke sense. During this game, I did not. That was fine. So this game looks like it's going to be a silly. Messy really blast.
And they added even more silly stuff where like you're doing your wingsuiting down and then you can just kick somebody on your way down, and I think that's hilarious. And the laying down on top of a moving car and shooting things, like I think that's really funny. It's exactly what I wanted. I would say more ridiculous crap. Like it is. It's
that's
perfect.
It. That's all we asked for. Best action adventure game went to, I thought deservedly so, but surprisingly was Metroid Dread, which I got to tell you, the more I've thought about that game, and I've gone back and played a little bit of it too, just to kind of refresh, because it feels like a while now. There's been so many games since then that I've gone through that, dude, this game is so good. I know that some people really hate certain elements that they introduce. That's fine. That's your prerogative if you don't like it. I love this game. So I was glad to see this one win.
I was actually happy that it got Nintendo won something, like, Metroid Dread won something. It had to be this category. It made sense. So,
and I don't know if they'll think this way or not, but part of me is like, ooh, maybe they'll fast track Prime now. The Metroid Prime remake or whatever they're doing. Like, probably not, but
they're busy with Splatoon 3 or whatever the hell.
I just like seeing the Metroid.
Jeff.
I like seeing the Metroid franchise be treated well and then well. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
We did get a Dune game, but not the kind that a lot of people wanted probably, and that is Dune Spice Wars. It is a real-time strategy game coming to PC in 2020.
Yeah, I said, you probably missed it, Tim, but I said in chat that I don't do RTS games, but I do want to play a Dune game, so I'll probably end up playing this one for sure.
I'll play it. I mean, you guys know me. I love RTS games.
Spice runs.
I'll give it a whirl.
It's Dune, so sign me up.
Yeah. Now, I'm all on board. I have gotten to the point where I kind of get too caught up in just building up my base, and I'm not great at I'm definitely not good at competitive RTS, and I'm actually not even very good when I put it on even just the standard setting. I usually end up getting overwhelmed because I've spent too much time perfecting my area. So I usually just play it on easy and then just have fun. Like, who cares? I'll just play it on easy and
why not? Do your thing.
So I'm not good at these games. Don't get me wrong. I just enjoy them. I think they're fun. I liked when Will Arnett and Ashley Birch came out to introduce Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
That was fun.
I've enjoyed pretty much everything they did on stage this time with the various interviews and little skits or whatever. I thought they were the right amount of kind of hokey, corny, whatever you want to call it, but also like somewhat sincere. So I thought Will Arnett and Ashley Birch seemed to have some fun with their little banter there, arguing over who the real hero was and stuff like that. Like,
For some reason, I missed the memo that Will Arnett was in the game, so that's really cool to me.
that might have been a reveal, right? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was cool though.
So he's like the dragon, whatever villain. This game just looks like it's going to be a blast. I don't know
looks
how
fun.
good it's going to be, but the art style looks really cool and it just looks fun. So hopefully it's good. I didn't realize Ashley Birch plays Tiny Tina.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that she gets to do like not overly serious voice like she does in a lot of other stuff. She gets to.
For some reason, I thought it was Laura Bailey the whole time. I don't know why.
No, this was her big breakout. Like, 'cause she came from like a Ash, What You Playing, which is like a internet show, and then her brother
Borderlands 2.
Her brother wrote Borderlands 2.
Got it.
So that's how kind of was her in, and she's been doing like really good voice work.
The writing for her character in Borderlands 2 I thought was hilarious, and the DLC there too.
And she's great in Mythic Quest.
Yeah,
she's great.
She's a great voice actor for sure.
I do like that in Mythic Quest they even acknowledge how like overly sincere and whatever she is all the time. I like that.
her car ride with not Mac, whatever his name is in the show.
Rob McElhaney.
Yeah, that was so funny. Where he's like, you complain about all these lack of opportunities because of X, Y, and Z.
I'm sitting
like,
right here.
I'm right here in the car with you.
And then she can't think of what to say the whole ride. Yeah, that's so great. That show's funny.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna move a little quicker here. We got to get through some of these. Among Us VR could be kind of fun for the.
I'm
weird.
Weird.
Yeah,
Can't
but
believe it's on
gonna
Oculus.
work at
That's
all.
weird to me.
but I do think it's kind of the idea of like you have to actually spot them doing a thing. Like I get that how that could work well if it's done well. So we'll see. I thought that Steelrising looked pretty cool. This could be like the next Greedfall, where it's not the highest of quality, but it's just fun.
So same developer. It's Spiders. It's the same developer.
Oh, I didn't realize it was Spiders. Yeah, I missed
Dude,
that.
I got mild Greedfall vibes and thought, I wonder if this would be like Greedfall, where it's like a swimming in sevens that some people love. Well,
yeah, no, it's and for a second I thought it was that Life of P? I thought it was the Pinocchio one, and I was like, oh, okay, Steelrising. I remember them announcing this one.
It comes out in June, and I kind of really enjoyed the French Revolution meets modern steampunk robot vibe. I thought it was really interesting.
I've been saying it with Derek and Derek obviously likes this developer much more than all of us, but I've been saying with him, like, these guys have been improving each game. Like, you know, what
one of these times they're gonna make the game that we're all talking about. Like, I truly believe that.
Yeah. Could be this one.
I can't wait for tryhards to talk about this like it's game of the year.
All right. So Derek,
well, it'll be.
What if this is the one though?
This might be.
It could be. Who knows?
Yeah, it's
this
probably,
might be that lull.
Not, but...
Before we all start playing the Cuphead DLC, we can play this.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Star Trek Resurgence. This is the one from the former Telltale devs, not being made by Telltale, but it is that type of an adventure. You know, choose your dialogue, make decisions, kind of a game.
I'm actually very excited for this because I just feel like the Star Trek universe is like perfect for that type of adventure game.
I think so too.
This did strike me as a little low budget, but I mean, it's not like it's a huge dev, so that's not surprising.
I'm gonna guess this is gonna hit all platforms, including mobile, so it makes sense that they kept it simple. We'll see that one. Best ongoing game and community support both went to Final Fantasy XIV.
What?
Did you see that?
The mic cut out. What?
Did you see that, Jeff?
What happened? What's going on? What's next?
Oh, Tim, could you tell him the next one too, just in case, you know?
Rumbleverse? Dan's excited about Rumbleverse, you guys.
Nope.
This is the
most anticipated for Dan.
This. It looks very Fortnite style. I mean, it makes sense because it's by. I think it's the same. I think it's by Epic Games.
You didn't mention best community support.
I did.
I said both. You said both.
Okay. I lumped them together.
I don't know. I missed it.
Can we just say it again so Jeff heard it?
I lumped them together because who cares?
Okay, how dare you?
Rumbleverse. I guess there's been a lot of folks who've been excited about this for a while. If you're into the, online only.
I just thought it was Knockout City DLC for.
So did I.
I thought it was just Fortnite, like a Fortnite mode.
It looked just like
now play a mode with no guns, and I'm like, okay, and it's a whole other game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
This is what the Game Awards did with their trailer after trailer. They would start to lose me, and then they'd pull me back in because then they showed a trailer for A Plague Tale Requiem as a brand new trailer. This game looks like they finally got the budget they deserve for their skill at telling story and creating this kind of crazy historical fiction universe. It looks so epic and depressing and amazing and stressful and all the things.
That first game was not ugly either. Like it
No, it looked
pretty
good
nice.
for not being AAA, and I feel like now it's like, okay, you have your money now.
Yeah.
And we're getting something movie-ish quality.
This one
and Misia having a freaking bow and arrow, dude. Sign me the hell up. I'm so excited.
It looks like they're adding some combat elements that they didn't have in the first one for sure. So
I'm excited about that.
Oh, cannot wait for that game. Still says 2022. I feel like that might be a summer release. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That would be my guess. I like also that for people like Kyle's sake, who hasn't played the first one yet, and I know you're going to love it, but I like that they're still playing the rat stuff close to the chest. Like for people that haven't played it yet. Yeah. So you're going to love that stuff, Kyle.
I do think
it gets really nutty.
I do think it's cool that not only is the first Plague Tale, I think it's still on Game Pass, right? Still on there?
It is, yeah.
I guess.
I think so.
And this one's going to be day one on Game Pass as well.
Yeah.
So
wow, okay. Well,
love it. Dying Light 2 got a new cinematic trailer. I got remember the old Dead Island trailer, one of the best game trailers ever.
The rewinding one, the one that
this one had a little bit of that where there was an attack inside and then things were happening outside, but then it kept kind of going back and forth. But
I don't remember that trailer, but this was a really cool
falling
trailer.
through a window, it was very
it was cool. It didn't have the same emotional impact as that Dead Island trailer had a gut punch when you realize what's going on. This one didn't have that, but this was cool.
It was a good trailer, I think.
Then we got this, what I thought was a pretty surprise announcement that Crossfire X, this action shooter from Remedy, don't forget Remedy's making an action first-person shooter game. I haven't heard much on this for a while, and it is an Xbox exclusive, and it hits February 10th.
Yeah, so I'm excited. And you know why I'm excited? Remedy is doing just a single-player campaign, and I'm like, okay, sold.
Yeah,
right.
There is a free-to-play version that's being done by somebody else entirely.
Yeah, they're doing the campaign.
So this is the Remedy. Because when I saw that, I was Remedy, like, wait, I was like, that Remedy? Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so they branched out.
It's just going to be a straight shooter. It kind of gives me Fear vibes, to be honest. Like, it's going to be like, it seems like it's going to be like a linear, I don't know, story-based shooter. So
I think when they signed some type of deal with Xbox and they said, okay, we're going to branch out then. So it's not just about third-party adventure, whatever, at action games anyway. Now they're like, fine, we'll do a shooter.
I love it, man.
Yeah. The gameplay looked really impressive to me. This was one of the better ones.
Yeah, I thought the trailer looked really cool. I was like, I didn't know what was going on story-wise, but I'm like, I want to know more about what's happening in the
kind of modern military mixed with some maybe supernatural stuff. Who knows?
Maybe.
The Innovation for Accessibility Award went to Forza Horizon 5, which we all got wrong because there was a game that was specifically made for blind people. So we all got that wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
But
voters got that wrong.
But Jeff made this point in our last show when we were talking about predictions. All these games have done some really cool stuff, and Forza specifically. I mean, they have like the sign language person you can act. It's all kinds of cool stuff that they've done in Forza. So
it would have been a good second guess if the blind people game didn't win.
So Forza won that, and of course it also won for Best Sports and Racing. We got a really quick teaser trailer for the Halo TV series, which is coming sometime next year. The only thing I really took from this was that we got to see some faces of some of the actors that'll be in it. I didn't really get much else from it. Maybe you did.
We got that the doctor lady is played by a hot actress. That's really great.
I got that. It looked high budget. Like, that
was my big takeaway too. I was so concerned about it just being like it's just people cosplaying as Halo, and it didn't feel like cosplay. It felt like
real sci-fi.
Yeah, it felt like an actual Hollywood production.
Maybe a little bit Mandalorian-esque in some ways.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah.
So, well, hopefully it delivers on that. I just don't want them to I don't necessarily want to see Master Chief's face for the first time in this show. You know what I mean?
If they don't, and they did hire a pretty famous actor to play him, so it's like I don't know how.
Yeah, Pablo Schreiber.
You saw how long Pedro Pascal went before he was like, I want to start showing my face more.
I know, but
so
Mandalorian proved you can have at least a lengthy chunk of a game do well of a show do well with and still just show emotion and have an interesting character without seeing his face.
And you can make it powerful when you have to take off the mask. It doesn't have to be
and it worked both times. The mask came
the final episode of season 2.
Don't start.
All right.
Me.
Don't start, man. Don't start it again.
Best game direction went to Deathloop. We all guessed that. I think. I mean, that was just pretty obvious. That game was structured brilliantly and laid out brilliantly.
Apparently, that was that guy's first time ever directing a game. Did I catch that in the speech?
Yeah, he was like, I was terrified.
Because I can't believe that I'm getting this award. Yeah, I was like,
best family game was It Takes Two. Best fighting game was Guilty Gear Strive, which we all got right. We're all big fighting fans. We get how that works. Best sim strategy went to Age of Empires 4. Best
Nailed it.
VR AR went to Resident Evil 4.
Did not get that right.
Most anticipated game, I was the only one who got this one right, and that was Elden Ring. And
that's because that's some BS right there. That's why.
So
it's coming out soonest.
I think it's the recency thing. I do. I think it's the recency thing.
I think people
fresh on people's minds.
Yeah, and it's not that. I mean, Horizon Forbidden West is coming out like right around the same time. It's not like they're far apart. It's just something about that one being a new IP and coming out soon.
I thought the Zelda cucks were gonna come out and vote hard, man.
Man, I thought it was God of War Ragnarok, especially because we got a Ragnarok showcase not that long ago, and that was really impressive. So
when we do our Game of the Awards, I'll be curious to hear what each of your picks are, because that one's not mine. Although I am excited for Elden Ring.
Very excited.
There's
not
other
mine either, though. Yeah.
Pumped for it.
I mean, mine would probably still be God of War Ragnarok spoilers, I guess.
We did get a new cinematic trailer for Elden Ring as well. So thankfully, even Keeley said this. He was like, just checking that date to make sure it hasn't changed. It's still coming out. So it's still February. Nintendo gave us a quick sizzle reel for 2022. Nothing new announced here, but this is where we got Arceus, Breath of the Wild 2, Mario plus Rabbids, The Spark of Hope, Kirby's open world game. I forget what it's called. Splatoon.
Forgotten Kingdom or some crap like that. I don't know.
Forgotten Lands, I think.
Something like that.
And then Bayonetta.
Sounds like we've forgotten it.
Can't wait for Splatoon 3.
But hey, Bayonetta 3. So listen,
so much
Nintendo
Splatoon hate. Jeez.
Nintendo can stick the landing with all these games, and they actually release this year, because I know they've said we're targeting 2022 for Breath of the Wild 2. That's the big one. If they can release all these games this year, that's a really solid comeback year from a.
I agree. And when you mentioned 2022, I guess I skipped over the sizzle reel and totally missed all this. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I was like, what are you talking about? They just have Pokemon. Like, they just have Arceus or whatever. So, like, what are you talking about? So, like, if they stick with this, this is like that's a big year.
Yep. They had this game coming out. It's called Synced. It looks like it's multiplayer. The way that some of the combat was unfolding, it's hard to say. But basically, it looks like a third-person cover-based shooter where you also have these like rock crystals that were like on their shoulders and arms, and they could send them out as a certain like soldier type. So either like a bruiser who jumps in there and smashes, or a sniper, or whatever. They had a bunch of different skills. I don't know exactly what this is. Is there a single player component? I don't know, but it looked interesting. It also looked kind of multiplayer focused at a glance.
Sounds a little try hard for me, but okay.
So, 2022 for that one.
So what exactly about this is trying hard?
But listen,
I don't know.
The next game,
I can be clever. I'm gonna be a rock, and then throw
the next game
somebody.
surprised me in the same way that game from a few months ago called Doke V surprised me, where it was like, what is this real life Pokemon game that they're making? What is this thing? This game, Arc Raiders, gave me similar vibes where I'm like, how does this look like? This looks amazing. So it's a third-person sci-fi action game. I thought the visuals were just like unbelievable. Some of the action reminded me a little bit of that. What was that Capcom snow space shooter?
Lost Planet.
Lost Planet. Yeah.
A little bit, maybe. I don't know if it's going to play like that at all. And Lost Planet was kind of a mediocre game by most accounts. It's fine. I just kind of got vibes of that, where you're running real fast and shooting, very like arcade, fast shooting, big weapons. But I thought the visuals just looked unreal. And who knows, vertical slice, you can make it look however you want, but I thought it looked really good.
Speaking of unreal,
Matrix stuff. So we had thank you, Dan. That was good. I needed that help with that one. We got a clip from Resurrections, which of course the jury's out on if that movie's gonna be good or not, but I hope that it's at least
come on,
not a letdown.
Come on.
You know?
I'm not a praying man, but I will pray for that movie to be amazing, so I don't have to defend it the rest of my life.
I think as long as
Jeff looks like a tryhard movie.
As long as it's just not blatantly bad, where even fans like yourselves are going yuck. As long as it's not that, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, we also got, of course, we talked about it earlier tonight. Matrix Awakens, this Unreal 5 tech demo experience thing.
Keanu being really goofy tonight.
Yeah, he was.
A lot of hand motions, a lot of fake echoes. Game Awards.
2021.
I think he's.
And Trinity is standing right next to him, like just stoic.
Like,
Carrie
what?
Ann Moss is just as stoic as can be,
Yeah,
and he's like, "Whoa!" Like it was really weird. I don't know. Like I like it. I think it was fun.
I thought it was.
I wonder if he thought he was gonna get a second take, and they're like, "Nope, that's good. We got it."
Yeah.
Hey, pack it up.
It was like Bill and Ted vibes.
It was endearing, but it just stood out to me. I'm like, you're being goofy. Like, what's going on here?
And then, of course, the Game of the Year was announced for the Game Awards, and it was It Takes Two, which was one of the bigger surprises, I thought.
I legitimately laughed out loud.
Not only because Dan picked it, but also because I did not expect the voters to pick that one of
I
all
did.
nominees.
I don't know. There was just something about it.
You didn't. It was a gut
No.
feeling, and you just happened to be right. There was nothing logical.
I
or
felt it in my
factual that you were
heart
using.
because
It was
I'm
a
a pro
guess.
gamer.
Hearts aren't factual.
I'm
Shut
a pro
up.
gamer.
All right,
That's
so
factual.
Your gut really pisses me off. That's all I got.
so we're gonna
My
gonna go-
bowels.
we're gonna close things out with our the results of our predictions of the winners. I got to tell you, overall, we didn't do great. Just in general, I'm looking at the spreadsheet. There's a lot of red. We got a lot of things wrong, and that's fine. But things like audio design, best performance, we didn't get that at all. Best indie game, none of us got that one right.
Esports.
Oh my god.
Best action adventure.
Oh
none
no,
of us
I'm on
got
the nominees. Oh
Best
my god,
date.
there's way more red.
Best debut indie, none of us got that. Most anticipated, only one got it. Game of the year, only one got it. Best narrative, only one got it. So like, oh, and best art direction. So like, we had a lot of swings and misses, but again, this was a guessing game. You never know how people are going to vote. It was just kind of funny to see
I did.
how it all went down. But I will say this: for as poorly as he did in the nominee predictions, Dan really made up some ground here with the winner predictions, and Dan ended up getting 12 correct. Derek, who had to step out this episode, but we do appreciate being here for the Halo talk. Derek, he got 10 of his correct, as did Kyle, got 10 correct. Jeff, you had 6. You had a pretty bad
16. Wow.
6. You had a pretty
Wow,
bad run
60.
there between.
Wow.
I'm looking at the chart between narrative all the
Alright,
way down to
Trump.
best VR AR. That was a pretty bad run there.
That's a Trump behavior right there.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I nailed this.
What's that? I won. You said I won.
I won? I heard I won.
Um,
I need to-
I'd say Kyle
Check
had
my
10, and
audio.
I also had 12.
I
so
will not concede.
I tied Dan on the 12. I think
There you go.
the 2 that I got that no one else had picked. One, I thought that Deathloop was going to win almost everything that got nominated, and that paid off when I picked best art direction, and you guys all picked some. Everyone picked something different for art direction. And then on most anticipated
Ratchet
game,
and Clank got nothing.
No, they did
yeah,
not.
well, you
Wow.
didn't.
Ratchet and Clank,
Psychonauts 2
Psychonauts
shut out
2.
too, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's actually shocking.
And I got to tell you,
Pretty shocking to me too.
even though it won for best performance, like acting performance, I still think Resident Evil Village kind of got shut out. It got nominated for quite a few things and didn't win anything.
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Having knowing that all 3 of those wouldn't win for any actual like video game aspect, not the performance piece, but like I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have thought one of them, if not multiple, would have
Yeah.
gotten nods. But anyway.
It's right.
Oh, and Hitman 3 also won nothing this year too.
Yeah.
Did it even get nominated for anything?
That is
It did. It got nominated for action. No, just like
VR and AR.
like-
That's it, I think.
Those are superficial. Those are weird awards. Like they didn't get. Oh, that's so strange to me. Okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely not going to be a forgotten game, and for our game of the year discussions, I'm going to definitely be bringing that one up. People are kind of
That
giving
mansion
shaft.
level is like one of the coolest things ever. Like,
Yeah,
Best
absolutely.
game, some of the best game design ever.
Like-
So when you add, we were to add our points in from the previous one, by the way, I did an average for Derek. So let's say out of our 3, we had 23, 30, 28, and 27 on the nominee points. Derek would have had, let's say, a 27 if he got the average of the 4 of us. So that would have put Dan made quite the comeback. You were in last place with 23. And if you add yours together, you're up to 35. Jeff, you were at 30, so you won the nominee predictions. You lost the winner predictions, and yet you still finished with 36, so you beat Dan by 1 when you add them together.
Eat a deep.
Kyle had
I mean-
28 nominees correct, and then 10
mean-
winners correct, so he's up to 38.
Nice.
Derek, if he had 27, let's say on average, he got 10, he'd be up to 37, which would put him right behind Kyle.
Nice.
And then I had 27 and got 12, so I'd be at 39. So if my
Second
math
place.
is
Oh, huh. The
correct,
guy who runs the show is the winner. Huh.
Second, I don't care. Second place ain't bad. It could be rigged. I don't care.
if my
This is good.
math is correct here, I think no.
Yeah.
No.
I think we could also come to the conclusion that Jeff just doesn't believe in democracy. So yeah, he's just
People don't
doesn't-
realize
I totally
that
believe in it,
actually-
just not when it's rigged
You don't
bull
realize
crap.
that actually behind the scenes, Jeff put this all together like Dwight to Jim, and then made Jim win.
Right? Yes. Yeah. What the hell, Jim?
I thought you said in a perfect world, like, oh. Anyway. All right. Well, this is a bit of an extra long episode, but it was fun. Overall, I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed the Game Awards. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
had a
a
great
lot of, 2022, if a good chunk of these games actually land, it could be a repeat of what we saw in something like a 2020 or 2018, where you had just some huge games that hit.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it delivers on that front. So, but 2021 is almost behind us, and here in about 2 weeks, what is today? More like 3 weeks, we will begin our Game of the Year debates as we get into January. It also helps us in January when there's not a whole lot of games coming out. We can spend a chunk of time in January, a few episodes in a row, hashing out various categories. Before, looks like February 10th now might be the first big game. I guess unless you count Arceus at the end of January, first big game, and then Crossfire X in February, and go from there.
I mean,
so,
all I know is 2021 was a terrible year. Am I right, guys?
So bad.
awful. I have no good games to talk about.
Such a
It's
bad
gonna be
year
the
for
shortest
games.
game of the year.
It's going to be a quick conversation at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes.
You guys ever watch Gary Gulman stand up when he talks about?
Yeah,
Dude, his stand up, the last one where he talked about his mental health issues and stuff. That was just one of the best comedy specials I've ever seen.
He has a bit where he talks about the people who had to go into the room to get
abbreviations.
Abbreviations for the states, and they get the first one, and they're like, "We could take a break, right? This is going to be so easy."
That's a good one. That's good.
Because it goes from, I think, Alabama to Alaska. They're like, huh.
What do we do? Yeah. It's such a random thing to make a joke about, but it just works.
I know. It totally works.
Yeah.
It totally works.
He's really good at the mundane humor, yeah.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. By the way, if you haven't, go check out Jeff's music. He's been working on some stuff, so go give it a listen.
Oh, thanks.
And, if you haven't, then go check out Chocobo Central. Kyle and Dan on recently. The more people that pay attention to that, the more that'll encourage Dan to make more episodes. So
that way, Kyle, if you just want to know that Kyle and I think you're dumb for not liking Skyrim, listen to that episode because
you're pretty chamber.
Stupid.
And it is just right now. It's living as the
Chocobo
Central playlist on our YouTube channel. So go find it there.
Yes.
And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for staying up late. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.